Oh, then
Oh.
what's the Behringer?
The Behringer U4 UM2 is just how the XLR gets into the USB to go audio into
Okay,
it's just the audio in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A DAC, a digital to analog converter.
Ooh.
What? Did that sound technical or what?
That was super good. I was very impressed.
Yep. I got I think it's called a Scarlett Solo for that.
Oh, nice.
The simple does the job. Nick, were you jabbing at me for not retweeting every single time?
No.
I never retweet. I'm terrible about that. I usually see it like right after. I'll be like on Twitter, like, derp, 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 derp. Oh crap! I should have retweeted that like before the thing started. So
I think I'll do it now.
Let's not be a jerk as I talk about being a jerk. It should be the last one to pop up. Just let me back in. Let me close my door all the way.
Fucking fuck. Was that Dylan I heard or someone else?
Yeah, that was Dylan.
Well, we definitely are going to be hearing him if he talks that much close to the door.
Yeah, we will. He's got a client, so whenever he does headshot sessions with somebody, he like lets them like stay in the room where they shoot so they can change outfits, and then he'll step out, you know. They don't have to go to the bathroom or something weird.
How soundproof is that closet? Asking for a friend.
That one, if it wasn't super full, I would totally record it there. It's very full.
We just need to get you a storage unit now, right?
Totally.
Get him one of those dividers, those room dividers, and put like just fortify his desk.
Yes.
And then just
build a little foam fortress
panels
over here. Gosh.
I mean, at this point, it's just about getting a noise gate set up because this is new, and so once a noise gate is set up, it will block out all of that. And usually,
yeah, but I just have to find a program to do that.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. But that's when my stream sounds so great, because the stream has a billion things to get rid of background noises and throw compressors on it, and it's great.
It's great.
Great.
Hey, Nickel. I like the way you talk. Hey, Nickel. The creepy way you stalk. You're the one in the pokey breeder. Nope, you're not in a breeder. You might be a breeder. I don't know. You're a catcher. I used to be. You're a collector.
There's no national dex, Nick. Get over it.
You're like that 10-year-old in the corner of the milk bar smoking a candy cigarette. I used to collect them all. They said, gotta catch them all. And I did just that.
I can't talk about it now. We'll talk about it when we play. We'll talk about it when we talk.
Okay. Any last tangents, vapes, and all that stuff? I want to get the pop out to Twitch. Oh shit. Nick, I finally goofed up. Well, no, that's not true. I goof up all the time, so let's not act like, it's my first time. I forgot to change all the names for everything.
I mean, on Twitch, it's Casual Master Quest number 75, game, talk shows, and podcast.
Yep.
I already changed it.
But I on Restream, I basically push a button after typing the title, and it does that. Just need to make sure I got switched over on
editing my thing.
What?
Do.
Wait, what?
I was on the wrong thing, just making sure all of my notes were there. So I was on 74 for some reason, because I'm a dingleberry. It's okay. I'm putting him in now. Beep. Oh shoot.
do this, do this, that. Mamma mia, here we go. All right, Glenn, just for the record, if for whatever reason you ever need to type something, like
Yes.
when we're doing the show, please, for the love of God, mute yourself.
Mute myself. Yeah. No, it's
I don't know if you have the ability to do it like Nick or whoever, but
I think
See,
that
I
means
can't mute. I can't mute myself at will. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no.
I just really need to get a mixer, don't I?
you know what, Nick? Honestly, I think you. But honestly, I think I'm over it, so I will just take care of it, okay?
I mean, I can
Yeah, it's fine.
always
Yeah,
just
don't
go
worry,
in.
I'll take care of it.
That works on Discord, but not Audacity, so please, for the love of God.
Yeah. Can't mute
Nick thinks
myself.
there's something wrong with my audio.
It sounds like it.
I thought there was
my
something wrong with your
sounded
audio.
like me. That's the problem.
You thinking your hot shit just randomly muting yourself. It freaked me out. Honestly, I'm
Yeah.
tempted to do voice mod again, just so I can do what Snaps did with the whole censoring thing. Like, you know,
So with
big
that,
brain.
yeah, she was using something called a Go XLR that has a
Yeah.
bunch of buttons.
Oh, those are like $400.
Yeah, but the Go XLR Mini is like $250.
Well, if you're gonna spend $250, might as well just get $400 one. You know, like that's my
I-
feelings on that.
Yeah, but do you need? I mean, maybe you need the $400 one. I don't need the $400.
I
The $250
probably
one
don't.
would
I don't know.
more than suffice. I'm ready,
Yeah.
by the way.
Okay.
Me
I'm
too.
gonna switch it over to the West Coast. To that.
Perf.
Although it still freaks me out, and people on the stream are gonna see it. Every once in a while, your guys' cameras will start glitching out to me. So I have no idea if there's like a huge I don't know what the fuck's going on with Discord lately. But it's okay. All right, I'm gonna take the last vape and get this started.
Get it started, huh? Let's get it started in here. Yes, I did. I did it.
Honestly, I wish I could take everybody I knew playing Pokemon and just throw them in one giant conference room right now. It would be chaotic. It would not make sense, but I just want to hear everybody talk about Pokemon.
Seriously, like I'm in the same boat, especially being an OG that has not played a game since Yellow. So
You're a Gen 1er.
yeah, that was the last one I played.
Okay,
Is that-
boomer.
Yeah,
Don't-
I didn't talk
You
shit on
beat me
it.
to it. God damn.
I didn't talk shit. You say okay, boomer, when someone's talking crazy. That was not talking crazy. I didn't say it was any of the other gen games were.
Look, if you
bad.
wanted the Pokemon to get bigger, you leveled them up and then you evolved them. There's no Dynamax, and that's just way too much. It's too complicated.
I think Dynamax is
Glenn.
fucking fire.
Glenn, when were you born?
87.
Okay, you're a millennial.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still definitely a millennial.
Hey,
Deaf.
I'm pretty sure
totsies.
Boomer is like between 1945 and 55
or something. Yeah.
64, yeah, because my dad is a Gen Xer because he's born in 65.
Yeah. My parents are
Yeah.
61, so they're right on the tail end of boomers.
So we're all millennials here.
Oh yeah. We all feel that
I
millennial
think,
pain.
yeah, I think the cutoff is 96, and then after that's the fucking Zoomies.
The Zoomies, is that what they're
Gen,
called?
yeah, Gen Z, the Zoomers.
Is that really what Z stands
Well,
for?
no, it doesn't. But then that's what the internet has dubbed them. the
Oh
Zoomers.
god, I love that so much more than
I think-
anything else I've heard.
That'd be the coolest name to have on that safety bicycle helmet they had to wear when they were two all the time.
He's got the Zoomies. He's a Gen Zer.
Like, how are you sure? I like Justin Bieber. Oh,
Oh.
I see. Yep.
See, I think Justin
He's got
Bieber's
the
done a
touch.
great job reforming himself. That's how you can tell him a millennial. He's done
I
a
mean-
great job not being such a shit for head, shit for brains.
I mean, I cheer on for Tyler 1 every time he reforms. Like it's the best 2 weeks of his performance.
All Tyler 1 does is wait until they unban him, and then he's an asshat again.
He's a short, angry man.
Short, little angry man. I'm more muscular than he is. He just is 4'1".
I don't know.
I've seen him in person, dude. He may have like my traps, my shoulders down here. This is all traps. I can deadlift like 460 pounds.
Humble brag in the chat. Jeez.
Oh, he could probably deadlift more than me though, because he has such a smaller fulcrum. You know.
So yeah, so it's easier. It probably also takes a super wide stance. And then he just has to go like
2 inches.
half a foot.
I can deadlift 4,000 pounds with straps.
4,000 pounds and like 5 sets with 20 reps, and then he just goes ta 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 ta.
I can see Tyler 1 doing that.
You motherfuckers need to leave Tyler Durden alone, okay? He's my boy.
Is that his last name, IRL?
I believe so, yes. I hope so.
Okay.
Otherwise, I just named somebody else I shouldn't have.
See, all I thought was a friend.
Man, I don't know why I'm getting DDoSed. That fucker Tyler over from Casual Master Quest.
Tyler 1. Oh, his real name is Tyler Steinkamp. Oh. I think I just named off somebody I knew in real life. Well,
That's awkward. Sorry, Tyler Durden. Didn't mean to call you out.
No,
like that.
Tyler Durden is the actor from fucking in Fight Club.
Oh my god, yeah, it's Brad Pitt's character. Yeah.
Whoops. Okay, thank God. That's a lot better than accidentally naming off a friend I know saying everybody beat the shit up of. I mean, I didn't know his name was his last name was Steinkamp. Also, he's younger than me. That kind of freaks me out.
How old is he?
He was born in 95.
He's my age.
Wow.
24.
And I'm assuming that's probably not his most glorious picture when you type in Tyler 1 real name on Google, because it looks like they tried putting the bicycle hat on, but it got stuck, so he kind of got little skull bat wings, I guess you'd say. So he can kick my ass in a heartbeat. I'm not going to give him too much shit.
No, he couldn't. Don't give him that much credit.
I mean, he'd have to dodge out of the way when I fall. Otherwise, he'd be crushed to death. All right. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to accidentally...
Sorry. I have this running in the background just off to the side.
So just to make sure I'm clear here, you have Pokemon, assuming Shield on one side, hiding off in the distance here, and then you have ESPN playing on the other corner right now.
No, I've just got the game. That was this. It's off silent. I'm just like making sure I see when the scores updates.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Of course, totally sure.
I've done that with Overwatch League in a recording. I just have Overwatch League playing on the other monitor while I'm speaking. So
Overwatch League?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying you were watching Overwatch and League at the same time, and I was like, dang, that takes some like serious like brain power to be able to.
You
watch
can tell
both.
he's doing it because his chameleon eyes will start turning in different directions because he's like, oh, there's a great play going over at Dragon, but they're trying to capture the objective.
His eyes go super crossword. I had a teacher in elementary school in Florida that could make her eyes go out instead of in. And it was the weirdest thing. I don't even know what to call it because, you cross-eyed. What's out eyes?
I don't know.
Right?
Oh, Nick is ready. Or are you praying? Do you need a moment?
Hashtag blessed.
That was just very. I'm confused.
Come here, Louie.
Oh, Louie. Oh, Louie. What a good dog.
What a quiet dog. Aloha, everybody, and welcome back to the beautiful land of Galar. Galar? Galar?
Galar?
Yeah, Galar.
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 Galarian, Galar.
Galar, yeah.
Galar. Great Galar. Great Baller. I'm Tyler, your host for today. Welcome back to another episode of Casual Master Quest. That was Nick and that was Glenn. How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
That's so good.
We are currently in a post-game bliss, if you will, with the release of Pokemon Sword and Shield coming out. Some of us have gotten pretty far in. Oh.
I'd say mid-game bliss, not post-game bliss, because that's non-existent.
The game doesn't stop, remember? Never stop the quest.
Grind. Wrong show.
I mean, you know, it's part of the same family. It's like a cousin.
It's like a cousin. Before we start lighting off the fireworks that is this entire good and bad bombshell of Pokemon, I think we should let's get the good stuff out of the way. You know, we're real people who got real lives, who got real things happening. Glenn, what's going on over on your end?
I got super sick just a couple nights ago. It's one of those things where I've been feeling kind of crummy for a few days.
Yeah.
But no real like I'm actually sick, but just like I feel like I'm sick. And then I went and I was playing. I think I was actually playing WoW with some friends, and I went, oh god, I'm so cold. And then it just got colder and colder and colder. And by the time I like was ready to go to sleep at like 10:30, I went and checked my temperature and it had jumped to over 101. And so I was just like, I am so sick. And then I just like broke my fever broke in my sleep, and I feel a little better now. But yeah, this week was just kind of dealing with one of those not sicknesses, which is the best kind of sickness. So.
I'm still trying to figure out something on my end too, something similar. I keep sneezing, but I'm not sick. I just keep sneezing. Right. I don't have allergies I'm aware of, but yeah, it's like I'm not sure if it's just the weather. Somehow it tickles the nostrils the right way, and then suddenly I'll start sneezing. I'll sneeze like once an hour for these past few nights. It's been freaking me out. It's like, you know, like I'm checking temperature. It's like, well, I don't feel a fever. My throat's okay. What's the fuck is going on? And it's like, I don't understand that, but yeah.
No, I was just saying I go through something similar where I'll just wake up with like my throat's like it kind of hurts to like when I swallow, like it's swollen, but like it doesn't actually hurt to do it. Like it's just I can feel it's kind of swollen.
Yeah, like your lymph nodes or whatever.
Yeah, but then I'm fine. Like I can wake up properly. Like I can go out and do things. I have my energy, and it just stays for a few days. I'm like, all right, cool.
Or just at night or whatever. Sometimes,
yeah, something. It just like at certain times, and it's like, all right, cool. You know, it was fun staying. I'll see you later. I'm like, all right, fuck.
I love adulting.
No, that's totally fair. I think there is one thing we're all sick with right now, and that's Pokemon fever, baby.
Boo-hoo-hoo.
Oh yes. Man, I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Checked my temperature. It's 151. Holy shit. I know on a medicine level for the doctors out there, that's physically impossible because I'd be like super dead.
Super dead.
Super like not like Super Saiyan dead. Like oof. Like there is no sense to be saving you from that. But
oh, that's a really high fever. I just did the math. That's a really like you'd be dead.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, Celsius, so I don't know what the normals are in Fahrenheit.
Yeah, my fever of a 101 is just barely above normal, but enough that it's bad.
Like body temperature for us is 98.6 on an average scale. I believe it's like deadly once, like beyond deadly once it hits like 108. Yeah. So 151 would
Super
be, yeah, like.
Oh yeah, that's a high fever. That's 42 Celsius, 108. That's like, oof.
That's like somebody threw a Molotov cocktail at your brain the moment you tried checking.
This is fine.
Your yeah,
this is fine.
This is fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
But it's fine. Glenn, you bought a Switch.
I did. Yeah. To my wife's chagrin, I went out and partially so mostly for this reason. When we were looking into like like finding things for Sarah to do, just because I have so many games that I play, and she really does enjoy playing games. And a lot of the games that I play, she's like, I would love to, but we've only got one nice PC. So we had to find something console based for her to play. She started playing Kingdom Hearts because she was like, I want to play a game like Zelda. I want to play a game like Zelda. And
she played Kingdom Hearts. I feel for her.
And it's just not enough like Zelda. It's fine, but it's very dated.
I bleed Zelda. I understand your feeling. It's like you want to play this cool game, so you got the Burger King toy version of it instead. It's like, I mean, it hits kind of the right. Like, is she playing the first Kingdom Hearts or Kingdom Hearts?
She's got one of our friends has the 9-game collection in a single box for PS4. So she's.
I'm not going to say it out loud because it is a big fancy word.
Yeah, she only needs to play like 4 of them, I think, is what he said. Those are like, there's 4 of them that are kind of must plays.
Are they though? Are they?
I'd like to not have the Kingdom Hearts conversation because the whole like timeline is bullshit. End of story.
I mean, that's probably one thing that's similar to Zelda is the timeline is also bullshit.
Well, no, okay, but Zelda doesn't do the 0.67 remix HD XD roar. I'm gonna fucking kill you, nuzzle wuzzle uwu. Like Zelda doesn't do that. Kingdom Hearts does that. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're
not wrong. You're not wrong. Like
they don't do that.
I'm trying to think of any time they've done anything like that, but like the weirdest thing they've ever gone was Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, the second game that came out. So it's like, no, I don't think you're wrong. You're right. Oh, as you would say, you are correct, sir.
It's like, see, like with like it's a messy timeline. The chronology's off. Sure, there's all these multiple like paths, timelines, things to explore. Sure, fine. Okay, it's a little confusing, but each game's its own. But then with Kingdom Hearts, each game's its own, but they're all part of the same timeline, but they're not. And then you get all the main story in the games that are not the main games.
I mean, most
but
of
then
them
you'll
are.
also never understand playing anything but the main games.
Just some of them are alternate worlds, some of them are data worlds that are data versions of real worlds that you'll replay, and some of them don't exist at all. It's just in your memory. Oh, sorry.
You broke me.
That broke me a little bit.
I think the weird thing is, like, in comparison of this whole topic of Zelda versus, like, say, Final Fantasy, Square Enix was like, no, there's some similar things in these, but they're all fucking different. There's no lines. Oh, 10-2? Okay, you got us. But everything else is fucking... Oh, 13-2 and 13-3. Shut the fuck up. They're all fucking different. And like the same topic came up to, Nintendo. Nintendo's like, oh, if we make a connection, everybody will be happy because Link holds us all together. And they look at this fucking messy ass board like 7-8 games in sometime in the 90s like, oh shit, we fucked up. Well, time to make some timelines. And it's like, so, they're all different games. Different renditions maybe of different games. It's like Final Fantasy. Just I don't think they should be connected by a timeline. I never did. But
so the point of that was Sarah wanted to play a game like Zelda.
Oh yeah, look, you said Zelda. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so no, you're fine. But I realized I didn't need my Xbox anymore because I have my PC. PC's better Xbox. So. I'm
sorry, I've never heard of an Xbox. You mean the Netflix machine that I have sitting in my cabinet?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to confirm. Sorry, carry on, Glenn. I didn't mean to interrupt you. That was
I thought it was just a box that did nothing but show Game Pass advertisements.
Oh, you're talking about the Mixer machine. Okay, yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. The machine you use to watch Mixer and look at the Game Pass deals for your PC, right?
Mm-hmm. It doubles as a doorstop, at least, if you really wanted to.
Right, they're pretty durable.
Yeah, they are.
We brought it in. I traded it in because if you were buying a console, which I wanted to get a Switch, you got 20% off of 2 used games. So I got 2 used games and Shield, and ended up spending, way less than I would have initially, I think, on everything between the trade-in and the discounts. And now we have a Switch, Pokemon Shield, Breath of the Wild, and I got Modern Warfare for PlayStation 4. So I can
Okay,
play
I
that
got
'cause it's
really
all super
confused and scared for
cross-platform.
a second. I thought you were gonna say Modern Warfare for
Modern
Switch. I'm
Warfare for
like,
the Switch. Yeah.
Oh, no, 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 no,
Okay.
no.
So a couple of things I wanted to mention on that. First of all, it's almost not shocking that Modern Warfare has already been taken back to GameStops, even
Oh,
though
yeah.
it just came out.
Mhm.
The other thing is, I don't know about in the States, but do you know how before I bought Breath of the Wild officially, do you know how long I'd been looking for a used copy of Breath of the Wild because Nintendo never brings their prices down and I never found one? So that I never found one. And the fact that it was a used copy, so it's a little bit cheaper and you got a 20% discount, I had to buy that motherfucker brand new because I couldn't find a used copy.
Yeah, I paid less than $40 for it.
which would be like 50 for you, Nick, which is still cheaper.
That's a good fucking deal. Like,
Yeah.
like Nintendo games just don't go down
They
ever.
don't.
Nintendo
nuts.
first party games specifically, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they do their Nintendo Selects or, Game of the Year equivalent bullshit where they'll mark it down to $20 or $40, which they've done before. I believe like Odyssey and a couple other games, ARMS, they release like $30 editions of that instead, which, but Breath of the Wild and like Splatoon, like they keep them fuckers all the way up. Like, I'm pretty sure I bought a GameCube Zelda game like Wind Waker or some shit back when the Wii was out, and it was still like $30. It's like, fuck,
This is
guys.
the old system. What is going on?
Like,
Yeah.
this is the wrong generation. You guys don't even carry it new anymore. It's just sitting there. Let me take it at a proper price. And it's like, yeah, nah, fam. This is Zelda, yo. Nintendo tax.
Nah, fam.
I mean, that's just the way it is with first-party Nintendo games. They, by inducing a artificial scarcity, they keep it at a high price.
Looking at GameStop online,
Yeah.
Soul Silver for the Nintendo DS on GameStop is listed pre-owned at $60.
Well, that's
What is
just
that
because
equivalent
it's,
in
Well, I
Canadian?
it's
No, well, I mean that's because it's on a
for us,
you know.
it's like $50.
No. This is GameStop, so this is American.
In US. Oh.
Yeah.
But it
The
came out
fuck?
at it came out at $40, $35.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of it is it's it's on a default like an obsolete system, so it's a little bit rare to find if you
Yeah,
wanted to find
GameStop's
a
website's
whatever
kind of
copy.
trash. So
But like, it's still amazing. Like Nintendo games, first party games, for the most part, they just barely ever go down. Even ones that came out
Well-
on the DS.
I think part of that, honestly, just because of my minimal experience, is that they're games that hold up. They're very good. They're high quality, and a lot of times they have really great replayability. So, like, unlike the FIFAs of the world or the Maddens of the world, they don't have that same sort of issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like it comes out and it's Modern Warfare and I can buy it $10 cheaper than the next day because somebody's already brought it back a day later.
I mean, hell,
that is-
on a adjacent topic, like indie games that come on Nintendo platforms, the joke has always been Nintendo tax. You see a game that's an indie game on the Switch for $15, but then you look on Steam and it's actually 10. It's like if it's on a Nintendo platform, they want to jack up the price a little bit. Not the same thing as this weird price preservation, but it doesn't help that Nintendo also Pikachu faces at any time people wants to emulate their games too. It's like, what? No, just buy it, you fool. And it's like, well, no, it's like twice the price right now. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me. I'm super stoked to be a part of the Nintendo family again. It's the first console I've had since I think my Glacier, or not Glacier. I had the see-through orange Nintendo 64.
no shit.
And I've still got my Game Boy Color, but I got that before the 64. So like it's been a minute.
The Giant Bomb East Crew is actually sending one of those Nintendo 64s to Antarctica.
Really?
Yeah, apparently, like, I have no idea what the context is, but they're sending that a copy of Donkey Kong 64 and then a imitation of a WWE championship belt for some reason. They're just sending it over to, I think, the research lab over in Antarctica. And it's like,
Give them something to do.
yeah, I guess. It's like, I feel like just, I don't know, give them a Switch or a classic or something. I don't,
Right.
But whatever. Nick, what's it been going on over on your end? You've been living life to its fullest, I'm sure. Well, what's the week been like before Friday happened?
Tired, frustrated, just school. Yeah, it's that point in the semester. I haven't really gotten much sleep this past week.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to get much sleep now after this shit.
No, not only that, not only do I have to finish deadlines over the next 2 days, because we're recording on a Saturday. I've got deadlines that are due like Monday night. I also have to put as much time as I can into Sword. So yeah, no, I mean I don't want to go into anything specific, just for reasons. But yeah, no, it's just been a rough week at school. But this will pass because in about a month, I'm traveling. So yeah.
Yes, you are.
PGC.
In exactly a
I'm going
month from
home.
the time of recording, I believe.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm going home for about 2 weeks, and there'll be plenty of reminders so that nobody just it's not like a bombshell dropped on anybody.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
wait,
awesome, though. That'll be fun.
you're
What?
coming back next week, right? Like, where are you going? Like over the Toronto or something, or
No.
you're going to Washington State, right?
No, I'm going to Dubai.
What? Oh, sorry. I was okay. Apparently, I'm making a joke of landing a bomb.
No, I know you were doing a bit.
Okay,
no.
but you poker faced at me, so it's like I had to
Yeah,
question
that was
myself.
that was the point. Yeah.
Nani?
You were confused before I even asked you the question. What? Over on my end, kind of similar thing. It's been a weird, rough week. There was like one time over at my unnamed job where I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go do some work for them, even though I'm a third shift typically. And they told me not to come in because it was wise. There was a giant snowstorm happening. Everybody knows I'm a truck driver, and snow is usually not the best thing to deal with if the job is optional. So they said, screw it, just come in. You're going to be a passenger. And it's like, okay, cool. And so I come in without sleeping that entire day because I wanted to play Death Stranding like a motherfucker. We'll talk about that later. And unfortunately, it turned out I was in fact driving that night, so I had to wake up 6 o'clock in the morning and then drive until 6 o'clock in the morning. And I am not good without my sleep at all. Like I have to constantly make sure that I get enough sleep for level activities. So
Especially as a driver.
yeah, like a driver, especially if there was a snowstorm earlier that day, that means I have to even be more vigilant about how things are gonna go out. I got to be slower, got to be more careful. So realizing I was going to be tired that night, I did something I've never done before. I bought 2 cans of the Tall Boy monster drinks.
Ooh, yeah. BFCs or
What?
are they? Did you get the BFCs?
A big can,
Big
fuckers?
fucking can.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
literally like they're monsters, and it just says BFC on the side. It just
Like
means
it's like
big fucking
Doom's
can.
BFG's big fucking gun.
So is that like the kind where you got the twist cap and it sounds like a bullet shot when you pull it off?
Maybe it might actually be bigger. The last time I remember someone having one, because I can't handle that. It was actually a pop top, but like the tab on it to pop it or whatever was like huge because it was just giant.
Well, this
was
looked like a shell that you twist off and you can put it back on.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing it's at least 20 ounces. Like it's a big can.
Significant.
I bought 2 of those. I've drank one maybe once every week just to give me the extra kick when I'm going home or whatnot, just because I want to keep moving. But that night I drank 2. And I'm pretty sure I saw a undiscovered color at that point with how wired I end up getting. Like, whoa!
Sugar was just running and coursing through your veins.
That's what ultraviolet looks like.
Feel
And
like a starfish.
Nick is saying the BFCs are the resealable cans. Like, I don't have one near me, which is probably for the best. But I wish I could show you what I'm talking about. I'm assuming it's what you're talking about. And so I drank these and I was good. I was wired. I was awake. The good Lord, goddess something, made sure I got home.
Good.
The moment I closed my eyes going to bed, apparently that was where the last traces of it was, because I went straight to bed and I passed out immediately. Like I went to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning, thankfully. Like I made sure I got home, and I slept like 10, 12 hours. Just gone. I woke up still tired. I didn't know I would get a hangover from a Monster drink as well. So I'm sitting there, pounding headache. I'm feeling like shit because all that syrup and stuff just drains the hell out of you.
Mm-hmm.
I was dehydrated
Wow.
because I didn't actually drink water. I just drank fortified corn syrup at that point. And
Yep.
it did a fucking, like, I had a migraine for 36 hours after doing that.
Oh
Like,
gosh.
no amount of Excedrin or honey tea or whatever ginseng that Nick would
Ginseng?
recommend. Yeah. Captain Ginyu. Captain Ginseng.
Quinoa. Like, I love it.
No, it's okay.
Kale.
The joke is
The character from DB Super.
the joke is Brandon and Amanda like didn't tell me about this for like 3 weeks when we played Minecraft together. I was like, hey, have any of you find any charcoal yet? Because I thought the H was silent. And eventually one of them broke it to me and saying, Tyler, it's charcoal. And I was so upset. It was so upsetting.
It's like you had a booger on the middle of your nose for weeks, and they just were like, "No, it's fine. We don't
Yeah,
need to
just-
say anything."
He'll figure it out, right? And it's like, well, no, he's not going to figure it out. It's like, okay. Yeah, I say words wrong all the time. Words I'll see in in text, but I've never pronounced it before. So it's like I'm still stuck on the word rations. It's rations, right? Not rations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rations.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I did that. I recovered. That's fantastic. I tried doing this big brain setup to where I was going to maximize my time with Pokemon before we got to the show here today. That didn't quite work out, unfortunately, because Amazon is a bit weird.
Oh yeah.
The original plan was to go on Thursday night, be home at midnight, so I could grab a copy from Meyer, and then start playing. But due to some miscommunication between me and the wife, she ordered it on Amazon instead, which means I was going to get it sometime on Friday, which is fine, I guess. So I was hoping, hey, I'll get a copy of it and then I'll head to work. Well, UPS apparently, this was the day they weren't doing so hot. This is the first time I've actually had it happen, so I'm not going to give them too much trouble. And they didn't deliver until after I left for work. Well, old Tyler was not happy with that idea. Tyler wanted to play some motherfucking Pokemon if he's going to be riding passenger seat in the truck.
Oh
So-
yeah.
Old Tyler now has a second copy of Pokemon Sword sitting on his desk because he doesn't need it. Because he went to Meyer right before he went to work and bought a second copy. So,
You really wanted to play. Is that
I've-
what that is? You're a
I've-
dedicated.
We've been waiting for this, Glenn. Don't you understand it?
is that not commendable?
No, man, keep it sealed. Collectible.
Is it? I mean,
I think it's commendable.
You did
Oh,
what you had to. You played Pokemon, and now you have an extra copy. It's it happens.
watch, I'll be like walking down the street and there's some guy with a Nintendo Switch and he's shaking his can. Please, sir, need money for my Switch. Want the Pokemon? And I'll pull it out and I'll just put it into his tin cup and go, there you go, sir. Merry Christmas. Or I'll just return it back to Walmart and just kind of fix that whole problem. One of the two. I haven't decided yet. But anyways, beyond that, nothing crazy in my end except the fact I bought a fucking $1,000 couch.
Okay, but is it a good, comfortable couch?
I mean, you see it behind me. It's a solid improvement, and yeah, I am comfortable on it.
Then that's all that matters because that's an investment in your time in your house.
I've never spent that much on a couch before in my life.
Well, what about the
Never.
$2,000 bed?
Okay. I know this sounds like ritzy as fuck. And yes, that was a $2,100 bed. It was an expensive ass bed, but that
Need it.
it's I mean that the bed, I know you're not even disagreeing with me, Nick. The bed was such a solid investment that's going to last us for hopefully a decade or two, and it's going to make our lives a lot better in terms of our posture and stuff. Thankfully, neither of you would ever have to see what happened to that black couch because, or black leather couch specifically. Like there was boards breaking into it. I was having to hang on to the arm so I could sit upright. It was merciless on my back. But switching this one, going from a $300 broken down couch to this swanky thing, pretty nice.
Yeah, I
Pretty
mean,
nice.
again, it's an investment in your time in your house, and it's gonna pay off over over a period of years, right?
Yeah.
So
You may not have to buy a bed for 20 years. That's worth more than a couple crappy beds that you're going to spend the same amount on. Over
Right.
mind
time.
you, on the flip side, that is also including the fact that you guys take care of it. Well, which I'm sure you guys will, but like as long as you take care of it and you invest the money, like you'll be set for a few years.
Right. I think the one thing that's throwing me off is the last couch didn't have that what do you call it, the recliner part where you
Yeah,
can kick up your
like
legs.
the footrest. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have that before, so being able to do that and so I can play Pokemon and Death Stranding, that is luxury for me.
Ultimate
Like,
comfort.
yeah, it is. And
I just put my feet up on my coffee table.
when you think of a couch, you think, well, to me versus like a love seat, it's like a 3 cushion couch, right? You got the center one, you got the left one, right one. The left and right one would kick up. That's what it was like in my head. But this is the same length, if not longer, as a couch, but it's only 2. And so you can have one half of this entire fucking couch kick up. And so it's like, I could put a whole damn notchable right there. Why I would want to do that on this nice couch. Like, it's so weird, being able to kick up and not having to fight with the dog to lie down next to me. It's like, just, you got your own boardwalk over there. Just chill, dude. Yeah. Okay. So that's enough about our fucking. Yes.
Before we go on, I just wanted to say something interesting that I just remembered that actually happened. Is going to be quick. The one course that I'm taking that's about sustainability and textiles. After class this past week, we had like a mini knitting session for about 30-40 minutes, and I learned like the basics of how to knit. And that's really cool, and it shows me how bad my coordination is to some extent. And it was kind of like it's a very cathartic experience, just doing like basic knitting stuff.
I never learned how to knit, actually. I know how to cross stitch and I know how to crochet.
I did a little cross stitching, but never any knitting. My wife likes to knit sometimes. She made an infinity scarf.
I think
Nice.
the thing that
Pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah.
the thing that freaks me out with knitting is the fact you use 2 needles versus just 1.
Right?
And like I can do it with 1 hand. I can't do it with 2 hands though. Like
Well-
that's my problem with piano playing.
Well, so with the knitting, what I've learned is like one hand really is staying stationary. So right now I'm just like learning the technique and not worrying about like the tension or the spacing or anything. So it's just more getting the practice in. And really the one hand is staying stationary as a thing to hold your loops and stuff. And it's
Yeah,
really
that's
the only
fair.
other needle that's moving around. And then once you fill it up or you get to the length you need, you just swap it all over to the other needle, swap them around in your hands, and you go again.
I love it.
It was thanks to my grandmother that I took an interest in that kind of stuff. Like she knitted or crocheted my baby blanket. And so, having somebody make something like that. So that's a skill that it might not lead you to profit, Nick, but it will lead you to a level of sentiment that you'll probably not see for like, your children and whatnot, family.
Yeah,
Oh.
I really want to practice more and do more because as part of this course, at some point, I also used a sewing machine, and that was really
That shit's scary. No.
no, that was
on my finger.
that was really fun. Actually, it was really cathartic. It was really simple. I was just sewing on a patch to like a hole in my crotch in my jeans, and it was good. I like it was again. It's very cathartic. Like it's not mindless, but you don't have to because you're so focused on that one task and it's pretty straightforward. Like everything else kind of like fades away, And so with the knitting as well, like I was able to like pay attention to the conversations with the group, but I was still so focused on this, but it wasn't like super complicated. It was like 3 or 4 steps. So yeah.
Hmm.
The nice thing about you learning how to use a sewing machine, in my eyes anyways, is Amanda is able to use it to make dresses and stuff for herself. And I don't imagine you wanted to make, dresses, but it's like if you wanted to take an interest in like a professional level of cosplay or something, then that's a skill you could totally do, the custom make stuff.
Oh yeah, 100% if I wanted to, yeah.
Like or you could just make your own shirts if you really wanted to, or repair shirts,
Either or. Yeah, no, there's amazing like there's so many things you can do with modern sewing machines now.
Yeah, it's great.
That's how I knew my wife was a good one. She, when I moved to California and we were still just dating, she made a quilt with my mom. I didn't even live there. She just went and hung out with my mom and made a quilt. I was
Hell
like, "You're the
yeah.
best person of all time. I
Hell
love her.
yeah.
Yeah,
Very sweet.
we have it. We actually have it out because it's wintertime now. So
I just think in this day and age where like the power of obtaining material possessions comes from shit like Amazon, you forget that there's some things that are easy to make, but at the same time, it can leave such a lasting impression by learning the skill. So I think that's an awesome thing that you learned there, Nick.
that is very cool.
Thank you.
But we are a video game podcast.
Video games.
Oh yeah, we're one of the hosts. I know that there's going to be 2 big games that we're going to talk about. I say 2 big games, but like one is Mars and the other one is the motherfucking sun. So
Yeah.
like
Why don't you talk about Mars first then?
Well, I'd like to talk about Pluto way off in the corner here. This week I managed to beat Luigi's Mansion 3.
Ooh.
Yay.
And I say
Nice.
Pluto, but that's not like the quality or anything like that. I still am saying that Luigi's Mansion 3, it should be a good contender for Game of the Year. With
So I heard about Luigi's Mansion, and this apparently is a common issue. And I can't, and forgive me, I can't remember if this was already something to discuss, but I heard that the controls were dog shit.
the what?
The controls were dog shit. Like just in general, most players seem to agree that nobody like the controls were bad.
That's weird because this is probably the best improvement for how it's been handled in quite a long time. I think what the issue is, if you're trying to commit to an action, typically, like using the front face buttons, it turns into tank controls immediately almost. It's hard to like turn your vacuum around and whatnot. So you gotta turn your body and look at it before you can commit to it. But what a lot of people didn't notice is the like R1, R2, ZR, ZL, and all that stuff. Those also act as the face buttons. So if you press, let's say, A on the left side of the controller, you can't move the right thumbstick because that your thumb's preoccupied. But if you grab the trigger controller, then you can start aiming with it. And so you can play amateur mode, which people were upset by because it felt kind of tanky. But if you got used to the alternate buttons, you'd learn how to move around pretty quickly. And the game doesn't really require you to commit to that level of agility, if you will. Nice as it would be, so I didn't see it being as much of a problem.
Right. No, like everybody who's complained about the controls have said that the game is great, but they've just had issues with the controls. So I was just wondering if you faced those issues, because I know you and I differ on our opinions with the Switch controls. You like the gyro stuff, and I don't know if that's incorporated in Luigi's Mansion, and I hate it.
It can be. I actively avoided it.
Okay.
Because like in Splatoon, it feels like, with enough action you can commit to it, but it just like it's really janky until you get really full grasp on it. And it's like that with Luigi's Mansion. It's like, well, I can either learn how to, move up and down, move around, or I could just say fuck it and just use the thumbstick. I used the thumbstick. And so it just kept it simple.
Yeah.
And honestly, like picking on something like that, in my head, it just felt like that's so minor that they're essentially is like, well, we got to find something bad about it to talk about. I mean, there was a couple.
They're like, we can't think of anything else that's like, there's no issues, and this is the only thing that kind of bothered me. Otherwise, it's a great game. That's what it came across as. All of those people saying that.
This game is also 2-player, and 2-player can join about any time after like 20 minutes in. That gives you the option to control a second character called Guigi, which I've talked about before.
Oh yeah. because he can go through like grates and stuff like that because he's made of goo.
Right. And so my wife joined my game for a couple hours as Guichi, and that turned into one of the best shit I've gotten to play for a couch co-op in a very long time. And it was weird because honestly, I thought she was going to take a while to get used to it, but she's like, how do I suck and how do I flash my light? Let's do this. And it just turned into this weird house flipper situation where I'd be looking at puzzles and stuff, and she's just shooting cash out of the floorboards and stuff. She's like, I'm just going to collect everything. I'm like, I mean, you're giving me money, sure. And there'd be puzzles where it's like, oh, I got to go over here and then I got to switch to Guiji. It's like, well, no, we can just teamwork and do it at the same time. And it was pretty cool. It was a good bonding experience. She didn't think she was going to like it, but whether or not she was, yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, like, we played it for a couple hours. We had a good time. Unfortunately, I wish I had her with me during the penultimate boss, which is really co-op heavy, if you will. Right. Like, it would have been a lot better if she was doing part of the puzzle while I was doing a different puzzle. Like, basically, you're doing 2 different rooms where both characters have to keep moving.
Okay.
But beyond that, something that I noticed in this game that did throw me off compared to the other two, typically when you wanted to get to like the final boss, which in almost every game, it's actually in all of the games, it's King Boo. In the first 2 games, they gatekeeped you with you got to catch all the other boos first, ha ha ha. It's like, oh great, I got to backtrack and stuff. That doesn't exist in this game, which is good and bad. It's good because it means I don't have to do a bunch of fucking backtracking trying to catch these fucking boos.
Right,
the bad
super
news,
non-linear.
The bad news with that is there's absolutely no motivation, as far as I'm aware, to go back and catch those boos beyond saying you did it.
Oh yeah.
There's also puzzle gems. Like if you do certain puzzles, each floor has its like 6 puzzles you can do to get a puzzle gem or crystals or what do you want to call it. And so I did that for the very first floor just to see what it would give me. It gave me nothing. I was like, hey, you got all 6 for this floor. Good job. And I was like, cool.
Well, I mean, not even like a small boost or anything like that. Like not an achievement. Nothing. Wow.
Well, I mean, that's kind of for the 100%ers, you know? It's like...
True.
Yeah, but if it's not even like an achievement, is it even really like... How do you even know that... I don't know.
Nick in the chat is saying, sense. But Ty, can't you get trophies for it? Oh, wait. I'm not sure if he's taking a PlayStation jab at him. So there are achievements that you can get in Luigi's Mansion 3. Like, it's locked into the game, but they kind of give you this weird achievement system you can commit to. But as far as I'm aware, getting an achievement inside a game that no one else is going to see unless you snapshot it and put it on Twitter, it just didn't seem all that cool to me. There's also a whole different section of the game I didn't get to try just yet. I think it's called Scream Scraper and stuff like that, where it's you and a bunch of other Luigis like tearing through areas and stuff, and it looks like a fun multiplayer. But I had a couple other games come my way, so I had to put those bad boys down, and here I am. So,
because one of those, I got to see a really cool photo of you from some of the swag you got from your collector's edition.
Oh, did you like that?
I think we should talk about the other games that aren't these 2 games first before we get to these 2 games.
Is there 4 games?
I mean, apparently there's other planets in the solar system over here. Glenn, you've been you said you got Breath of the Wild. Did you get your hands on it? Like, did you actually get to play?
No, haven't had a chance to play because it was yesterday. It was just yesterday that all that went down. So it's been me going, I want to make sure that I'm able, thank you, to yeah, I guess that is what you've been playing. So I haven't actually played it, but the plan is to let Sarah play it because, like I said, she wants to play Zelda. Right. So I was like, let's do Zelda, and then if she likes it, we'll get Link's Awakening eventually and let her try that out. And of course, my plan is to do that as well.
A healthy recommendation to test your marriage strength if you'd like.
What's that?
Play Breath of the Wild with each of you holding a Joy-Con.
Jesus Christ.
God, that sounds difficult.
It sounds god-awful.
My wife and I beat a Lionel with each of us holding the controller. It's recorded too on Facebook. I can totally show it to you. We got violently angry with each other.
Wait, what color, Lionel?
I think it was silver. It wasn't a gold one, but that's the second strongest in the base game. Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
You left brain, right brain that crap.
It's like, Amanda, you got to jump back. I was jumping back, and I was like, oh, okay, honey, whatever you say. Oh, you don't believe me, do you? It's like, yeah, test your marriage. If you thought Mario Kart could make a break or Mario Party, yeah, no. It was a fun challenge. We tried different things, and it was interesting. But anyways, I hope to hear more of you and you and your wife playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back on the Nintendo train.
Yeah, because Zelda's a huge, sorry, not Zelda. Tyler's a huge Zelda fan.
Nah.
And I'm really invested in Breath of the Wild because that's the first Zelda game I played, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So it'd be interesting to see what a new player is going to experience it as. Yeah,
who knows? Was there any other games you played, Glenn? Besides, the obvious big one?
Besides the Sun, no, not really. I've played a decent amount of TFT this week, but I was so gunky that I was just really I think I only streamed once this week. It was and last week I only streamed 2 or 3 times. It's been I'm hoping to get back on a consistent stream schedule. Also, I've been, trying to convince Sarah after me going out and putting this on the GameStop card, all of this stuff, and then her getting the Cloud Lifter to just make that last little capture card. Just get the capture card so I can stream it all, but we're I don't know, I have a buddy who might have one that I could borrow, so yeah.
Tyler will remember that. So what about you, Nick? Did you get to play anything besides the I love how Glenn coined it, as I put it, the Sun game.
I've been playing some Moonlighter. I know I talked about that maybe a couple of months ago, but I picked it up again after playing it for a few hours.
Nice. How does it feel after giving it some time?
I think I can't remember why I stopped playing Moonlighter. I think something with Destiny or something else happened during that time, or me and my friend were going on this big streak in Overwatch and we're really getting into it. But I put it down. It was not because it was a bad game or anything. So Moonlighter is for those who don't know, it's a roguelike, a dungeon crawler. And you basically run a shop during the day and you go diving into
a shop game too. That's what I remember mostly.
Yeah, you go dive into dungeons at night, kill monsters, and you sell whatever shit you get from the monsters in the dungeons that you get. There are lore-wise, there are only 4 dungeons in the game because everybody's like, there's no way a 5th dungeon exists. But as you get through the bosses at the end of each dungeon, because it's 3 floors and 3 mini bosses and 1 big boss, or 2 mini bosses and 1 big boss, you get a key that goes into a mysterious wall near the entrance to all the other dungeons in a very symmetric pattern. So there's obviously no 5th dungeon, and there's only 4 open dungeons, and I've gotten 3 keys so far. So
what could it mean?
So it was rough at the start for the first 2 because the difficulty was almost exponential, was an exponential growth as you go, even within the same dungeon as you go down to each floor. And so you have to spend some time on the first level, get some money, sell that shit, upgrade your weapons and armor, and do that over and over again until you could get to the boss. But then now I've gotten so good, and also I cheated a little bit, I'm going to be honest, and this is the kind of cheating that I'm okay with in a single player game. Personally, this is just me. I looked up this ideal sell prices for each item.
Oh.
And so I just listed them because it doesn't tell you what the sell prices are. You have to sort of experiment. So you put it on sale and you put it if this brick is $5,000, and then the customer will go up and then they'll give a visible reaction. You'll see if they're angry. You'll see if it's too cheap because they found a good deal. You'll see if they're this is kind of they're frustrated. It's this is a little overpriced, but I'll buy it. And you'll see if they're okay, this is a good price, I'll buy it. So I cheated that way a little bit, got the perfect listing prices.
I guess you can call
just a little
cheating.
bit. And then
I mean, that's talking to your buddy on the stock market that can tell you what you should sell and buy at certain points. I don't feel like that's cheating so much as a little extra, just a little research.
Yeah, insider exclusive.
It didn't hurt anybody.
And so I
Wow.
managed to like now I'm sitting at like close to 2 million, which is more than I've ever had, and I've able to upgrade it. Like I've upgraded everything like properly. Like I have
That's a lot
like
of
max
gold.
weapon. I have like almost max weapons, max armor, like highest level, because it works on like a Monster Hunter style system as well. So you start off with basic armor, and if you want to get, you go fabric, iron, and steel. And if you wanted to like, then you can go iron 1, iron 2, iron 3, iron 4. Like each, like the chest plate goes up to, iron 4, the boots, and then the helmet as well. So you need like certain parts and like things from different dungeons to get to that. Same thing for the weapons. But the weapons go into two different lines, where like you have a sword and shield, you have a spear, a bow, fighting gloves, and a big sword. And you can either go like normal damage, which does more, or like elemental damage, which does less but applies an elemental effect. And you need certain
Ooh.
parts for those. And it's to some extent kind of in depth, but not like super in depth or super like difficult to get into. And so I've had fun with it. I think
Yeah, it feels
I
like
put
it progresses you at a logical pace, so it never gets
yeah.
too complicated, right?
Yeah. You just like sometimes like at the start you'll have to spend a little bit extra time on different levels and stuff. And then there's like if you started at a level and you didn't, because when you leave the dungeon you have to go back in and you start all the way from the beginning. But you can spend money to set up a portal that's a one-time use, so you can leave and then come back and start up from there again.
Aurora's Wind, which probably
Check it
doesn't
out.
mean.
So
I can say I'm not sure if that means anything to either of you.
no, it doesn't mean anything to me. So I'll get down all the way right before the boss room, get a whole bunch of shit, set up a portal, go out, sell all of that, upgrade my shit, get some potions, buff up, and then go back in and beat the boss. So yeah, that's Moonlighter's been fun, and it's a nice like sit back. I play it on my controller, and yeah, no, it's just been good as a warm up to get into playing with the controller for Pokemon. So
Oh, I guess it is a controller. Sorry.
yeah. Oh right, because you only just got it, so you probably don't have the Pro controller, right?
There's a Pro controller
Oh my man.
that
If
just
you-
looks like an Xbox controller.
And it's,
But it's
so
not. It's
nice.
a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
here's the thing. I was like thinking about getting a couple extra Joy-Cons. $80 for a pair of Joy-Cons. Fuck off, Nintendo. That's insane.
They're each
And
separate
how much was that
controllers,
Pro
but with some
controller?
reduced price, but together. Oh, what?
The Pro controller
you-
was $80.
Ugh.
Can you not hear me?
Oh,
No,
I
it
can
was
hear
me.
you. I could.
I was muted by mistake.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
no,
Pro controller was $80.
fair enough. And it's
Pro-
wireless. Yeah.
Pro controller for us is 65. You can
Sorry,
get it on
okay.
Amazon.
Okay, that's not terrible.
So
But still,
it,
I've got a controller. It's fine.
no, I totally understand how you feel about that. If you want to go super cheap, you can get a wired controller, which is a similar thing, except it doesn't have the gyroscopes in it. You can get it for like $20-$30 as well. And they come in different, like Mario or Zelda themed and whatnot. And
Does
they're
it just go into the cord area with the USB?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
USB-C to USB like regular.
Okay. Okay.
But yes, if there's one thing I can recommend in terms of hardware for the Switch, it is 100% the Pro Controller. Like, if you play with just Joy-Con, like in the Joy-Con grip and stuff, it has a bit of a weird feel, but it's, it's still doable.
Pro controller, and as I've learned, fortunately it didn't happen to me. And Tyler, I also recommend this is a screen protector.
Yeah.
Yep,
The screen
got one.
protector is. Right now, I don't have a screen protector on it, but I need to get one. But I wasn't willing to spend, the amount of money they wanted me to spend on one at the GameStop. They were like, "Yeah, we have one that's like $50," and I was like,
Amazon has one
Jesus.
for 15.
"For a screen
Yeah.
protector,
That was really
it was
nice.
crazy." Yeah, no, I can get a 2-pack of a good tempered glass screen protector with a great rating for like $10. It's like
And
nothing.
please, for the love of God, get a glass protector. The
Yeah.
reason being is the Switch actually generates a lot of heat on that screen. And so if that plastic starts to warp, you'll see bubbles and shit, and that's no good.
Okay.
But in the meantime, one last tip of a Switch owner to a Switch owner: if you don't have a screen protector on it, for the love of God, be super careful which way you put it into the Switch dock. Because if you put it in the wrong way, there's 2 grooves in the back of the dock that will
Mhm.
carve into your screen if you try forcing it down the wrong way.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've been super cautious, and I always am with my consoles,
Yeah,
especially
no,
with
you
this
treat your
one.
Switch with
With this
absolute care,
one,
I'm sure.
like uh, like a PS4 is easy. Like you turn it on, make sure it stays not dusty, you clean out the ports, you know, but like this everything has a moving part. So like I'm super cautious because I also never want to pay that extra like fee for like just in
The
case you
warranty,
break
yeah.
your console. Yeah, the warranty stuff. I'll take the factory warranty, thanks, you know. If it's gonna break, it's not gonna be my fault.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So good to know.
I
I got a
pretty
case for it too. It's a Pokemon case.
Yay!
I kind of gave this what did I compare it to? Mars or something like that? I really feel like Death Stranding should be given at least Jupiter status here. Because
Sure,
I mean
yeah.
the sun is still 10 times the size of Jupiter, but you know, it still needs to be
Still a big,
so
yeah. Gas giant.
played a little bit more of Little Town Hero, got a little progression. I was kind of worried because the skills got all filled up. Like I got them all filled up early, and I was like, there should be at least, you know, halfway point in this game. I hit that halfway point, and they doubled the amount of skills I can have now. So I got a little bit more motivation to progress my whole gameplay with that. Story is still the same level of what you expect. Boss fights have been still top notch. Been loving it. If you want to hear me talk about Little Town Hero, though, I've talked about it on a previous episode. However, this week, two games really kind of came into my field of attention. The first one was Death Stranding. I'm sure you guys see I have for the video listener or watchers, I have a giant ass box that's supposed to be my game case. It's a big ass box.
That's
it's
a
basically
big box.
I mean, you see
Well,
Yeah,
that's
the
there's an oversized D20 on it. Yeah.
yeah, that thing, the D20 is bigger than my hand, so you can imagine the size of the box. It is
Yeah.
fucking huge.
And
And
Reedus is giant.
yeah, no kidding. He's a big man for you. I decided to make the jump. I wanted to try it out. I have not bought a collector or, you know, legendary edition in a very, very long time. And even though this probably wouldn't have been like the game of choice I would have gone for, I felt like this is probably the best one I can this time of year. And it did not disappoint, question mark.
If I may say so, like Death Stranding visually, without knowing anything about the game, just seeing images, it's a beautiful fucking, like, it just visual, like aesthetically, it's kind of like my mood board for like the things that I like. It's all dark and gloomy and like weird things and a little creepy, but it's like nice. And like when you get to the landscape views and shit, like it looks really clean. uh and like very like what's the, like, lush in terms of like the nature. And then you have like the, I don't know if, to what extent you've gotten to, but I know there's the one villain with the gold mask, like the gold skull mask. And then you've got fucking Mads Mikkelsen in the game. And Mads Mikkelsen's a beautiful man. So yeah, no, like aesthetically, like I really like the whole thing of Death Stranding.
Just to cover the collector's edition box, because it was $200 fucking, and I want to get at least like a percent of appreciation for it.
Right.
They came in with a giant ass box, needlessly large. They gave me a very cheap looking toy chest box that's supposed to be like one of the crates I carry. It's okay. I think the big thing in terms of physicality beyond that and the keychain, which holds the is it Kojima Productions, I guess it would just be called? The logo? No, I feel like
I'm
they
pretty
had
sure it's Kojima Productions.
Okay, which is, you know, it looks like a guy in like some kind of Viking spacesuit that is with a skull instead of a head. It looks pretty cool.
It is Kojima Productions.
Just wanted to make sure. And Nick in the chat, you better watch out the names you say because I don't know that. I'll cut you for spoilers. Anyways, I think the biggest physical thing is probably that fucking baby. BB. Sorry. Pardon me.
Oh yeah, it's up on the shelf too. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah. Doesn't stick out at all. Jeez. When you look at it, it looks pretty damn cool. The fact that it's like standard gloss plastic and stuff doesn't really match the whole metallic feel that you would expect looking at it in game. But it's okay, I guess. Like, honestly, it feels like I'm just trying to support Kojima with big daddy bucks at this point, rather than actually getting stuff in return for it. The last thing I got for it, beyond some cool in-game stuff, was a 45-minute documentary about Death Stranding, the music, and how the game got developed. Which, that sounds cool as shit. Having a 45-minute documentary that that is by Kojima. The only problem with that is I started watching the first 5 minutes, and between the interviews, they started showing scenes of the game that are further than I am, and I'm like, nope. No. I had the nope the fuck back out. So it's like I couldn't watch that, but it looked good.
That's a cool thing to include. Like, I think, that's a cool addition to a collector's edition.
Like, just listening to the beginning, it, like, they talked about, rather than trying to just hire, a bunch of musicians and stuff for the music of the thing, we wanted to find people that shared Kojima's vision. And them being so close to Sony Interactive Entertainment, they went to Sony Music and, it was like, hey, if there's any artists that want to work with Kojima, give us call us. And turns out a lot of motherfuckers love Kojima. And so just people came out of the woodwork. But the game. I have played about 7 hours of the game so far, and so my review, my first thoughts of it is based off like the first 7 hours of the game, about 2.5 chapters in, which is just a little bit under the amount of stuff that people are able to talk about before the thing came out with the NDAs, essentially, for most of the reviewers and stuff.
The embargo listed, yeah.
Right. So
is there any indication of how many chapters are in the game, like, as you're playing?
It shows you what chapter you're on. It doesn't show how many there are total, as far as I saw.
Okay.
I mean, granted, there's so much fucking information coming my way that, I don't know what's up, but as far as I can tell, the only idea that I could possibly know is that they showed the map of the United States and different points on it. And I could assume that each point is a chapter, and based off of that, there might be like, I don't know, 8 or something, but yeah, right now I'm on chapter 3. I'm just about to complete the first section of the United States, which I know sounds really weird saying it like that. So I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother has probably talked to somebody about Death Stranding to get a rough idea of what it's about. But for those like, no, Nick, Glenn?
No, I've seen gameplay of this post-apocalyptic Amazon delivery service of purely the delivery part.
That's all I know.
All I've seen.
He's delivering things. Weird dudes are chasing him. He's got a baby strapped to his chest. What I know is what Rick and Morty showed me.
If you don't mind, then I'm gonna try to keep spoiler free, except for maybe the very first hour. Just that way, light spoilers, just to give a rough idea what's happening. So you are Sam Porter Bridges, which Sam is your name, obviously. Porter is because that's your job, and Bridges is because that's the company you're contracted with. Yeah. So the concept is after some bad things happen, the president of the United States is trying to connect coast to coast, and again, the spoilers are loose here. And she asks Sam to follow another person's work who went to the West to make the connection, but they aren't doing so hot. And so it's your job to follow in her footsteps and try to connect the world under this internet or infrastructure of sorts to help deliver mass information of data, which includes materials to Star Trek materialize food and other supplies to try to bring the world back to a more stable order, because the whole world got, for lack of a better way of me saying it, butt fucked by the line between life and death itself. People have discovered they can cross the line as living people into death, known as the beach, which gives them a pseudo version of immortality. But at the same time, doing so allowed death to cross back over as creatures that want to, take life, essentially. And that problem has led to the fact that anytime somebody dies, death will creep over and will cause devastation akin to that of an atomic explosion, which is why a single person dying can devastate a whole city, leading to apocalypse, as it turns out. So trying to sort through that, Sam, being the begrudging hero he is now trying to travel to different parts of the country to deliver supplies to people, as well as connecting them on this network of sorts. And the way I described it is very loose. There's a lot more that's going on that explains what's happening, but to that end, like I'm basically making Breath of the Wild treks to each location, which has its own problems and quirks that I got to face along the way. And it's been a hell of an experience, because initially, when you think about the whole idea of the simple form of walking simulator, yes, to the bare bones, much like Pokemon is you being a grass walking simulator, I guess. It's like, sure. I mean, that's one way to describe it, but it's been interesting because Kojima has been going full throttle with his terms and other bullshit. There's names like Die Hard Man, who's the person that's giving you the main quest, essentially. You got Dead Man, aka the local mortician that's helping you out. You have Mama, who is the person in charge of BB and stuff like that. And it's just like the naming schematics is like, what? Okay, sure, no. Like it feels like maybe they hired somebody from My Little Pony with like the most bizarre but still understandable names with explain what they do in their role in this. And
or it's like they were given Japanese names and like put them into Google Translate, and this is what it means in English.
It's like, okay, this guy is a badass. Let's put badass in the Japanese, put Japanese back into English. Die Hard Man. Okay, close enough. We were gonna call him Bruce, but Die Hard Man works too.
Ooh, Nick in the chat is saying Dead Man is Guillermo del Toro, which that's really cool. That seems like a role that fits him.
I have no idea about any of these actors except for Matt Mikkelsen, honestly, which is weird because everybody, you guys were like, oh, Matt Mikkelsen. So far, the only time I've seen
Norman Reedus.
I had no idea who Norman Reedus was before this.
You never seen Boondock Saints?
I've never seen Boondock
or
Saints.
The Walking Dead.
From The Walking Dead.
No, I haven't seen The Walking Dead either. Yeah,
bro. He was like one of my OG. Like, I love that dude because Boondock Saints is fire. If you have not seen it, very good.
He's a fucking good actor. Like when you got to fill a role that was once essentially Solid Snake with David Hayner, and then later on somebody else who was also a celebrity voice actor that I don't remember the name of. Like those are some pretty big. Oh no, it was an actual celebrity, like versus just a voice actor.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah,
both Nicks.
Ella, Nick and Chet. Yeah.
But my point is, like, you gotta find a way to replace the ideology of a main character in people who like Kojima's head, and Norman Reedus did a great job filling that role. That gruff voice, I'm not a hero, I'm just a man who was hired to do some wet work, motherfucker. And he's doing a great job. In terms of the actual gameplay itself, it's been kind of weird because they've been introducing mechanics I've been actively trying to avoid. For example, like there are two types of main bad guys I've seen so far. The first ones are called, I don't fucking remember because I don't care. They're essentially exporters. People who were mailmen that, as Nick in the chat, they were renamed it for me. They're called mules. People who were porters like Sam, but apparently got corrupted by the power of likes, which is a type of currency, or you can get likes for anything you do from other players or NPCs in the game, kind of like Facebook style. And these people got corrupted by this so much that they just kept trying to steal more and more packages to get likes. And
that's
so
Black Mirror shit.
So they're just some, be crazed motherfuckers that are like, yes, my precious, give me your package.
Give me your likes.
And but I guess on the supernatural Kojima end that everybody keeps thinking about is the creatures called BTs, which is the spirits that transcend that line of life and death and come to fuck your shit up. And they really display them as like, oh, and behold, you see these creatures, your day is done. You're dead. And I am going to come to the conclusion that is not true at fucking all. You're not supposed to actually fight them typically. You're supposed to sneak by them and all that stuff, and you got to be stealthy and stuff. But I discovered a couple of things. One is what the game gave me. The character that you're playing at has a couple of abilities first one's called Dooms. Basically allows you to sense these creatures. That is like a supernatural sense you have. The second thing you have is called Repatriate, which is a made-up word, I'm pretty fucking sure. It means if you die, you can recross that line of life and death and come back again. Which essentially means your character can't die as long as he chooses to come back.
Did you say repatriate?
Yes.
Not a made-up word.
Okay. What does it mean?
It means send someone back to their own country.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's made up in the meaning of it in this case, because unless country is life at this point.
I mean, you like at an abstract level, you could probably like.
It's like just my Kojima glasses.
You just have to boil things down to like nothingness as you just take this mushroom and then you just imagine what this life would look like as a game.
Right. And because your character is so fucking special, people have realized that apparently BTs do not like Sam Porter bridges, like on a genetic level. So what's the best way to fight these things if your own existence, just your essence of your body is repelling to these things? Kojima's answer is, why don't we just take your piss and shit and turn them into grenades? And it's like...
Sorry, it's a weird thing to say out loud.
Okay then. That went from 0 to 60 really quick.
I fucking know, man. It's so bizarre.
You like apples? Yeah, I like chopping people's brains out. Like, that's what it felt like.
So there's 4 ways that they will take things from you to turn into repellents, if you will, against these fucking shadowy looking creatures.
Okay.
The first one is shower. Anything, they'll take shower water of your sweat and stuff, and they'll turn that into a grenade.
Okay.
They're selling bath water.
Are you telling me that you're a post-apocalyptic e-boy and you're using your e-boy bathwater as a weapon? Is that what I'm hearing with mine own ears?
So you get more likes.
I guess like the logic is there's a chemical that's being produced whenever anybody crosses this line in some shape or form, and it's called chrysalis, I think. And it just imagine like powder, like just this weird non-earth powder that comes off. And since he's constantly dealing with these motherfuckers, he sweats this shit. And so they collect that and his bath water and turns into grenades. That is called grenade type 0. Grenade type 1 is piss. Grenade type 2 is shit.
Okay.
And
Checks
then there's
out.
a third type, which is unique in the situation, where you can take your own blood. Yes.
I was right. I love it so much.
I know. It's like it's weird when they introduce it to you. Like, here's some blood bags of your own blood. I'm like, the fuck am I gonna use? And it's like, if you hook it up to yourself, you'll slowly gain health over time. Or if you want a Brig Vein meme, you can take this weird grenade thing that'll use your own blood. And you can toss it at the enemy. I'm like,
I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like it.
It's definitely a different take on how things would work, but it's a different world. So I mean, things function differently. So
I mean,
cool.
You say a different world. It's a Kojima parallel, but yes, it's a different fucking world.
I mean, it's like post-apocalyptic and like things have changed, and that's obvious by how things work, you know?
I mean, in this Kojima parallel, for some reason, instead of there being an overabundance of trees and grass, there's fucking rocks everywhere where it looks like there's a volcanic explosion. And those rocks are Kojima put rocks in this game, kind of like how the Germans decided to put anti-tank X's onto the beaches of Normandy. It's meant to simply stop you from walking forward, because they introduced fairly quickly the idea that you can use a motorcycle if you want to, but there's no safe pathway that you can take except for like very few dirt paths.
And that game you're playing, they don't have roads.
No,
you are the bridge linking together communities.
Yeah. And to top off on that, you are able to build your own pathways to help divert these problems. Examples are they'll give you materials to where you can make certain items such as, shocker, a ladder, a rope climbing thing, a bridge. And so I hit the point where I was able to finally build a bridge. And if you connect to a given area, like let's say I go to this first little outpost right next to the city. When I'm walking around, I see jack shit around me. No one has been here in ages. But the moment I connect to that, it connects to real life internet, and it starts putting in stuff that other players have done themselves. So suddenly there's bridges and rock climbing stuff that I can use of other people from that, pretty much they've been there already and they left their stuff behind for me to, make my life a little bit easier.
Runners or whatever.
Other porters, like real life people.
Huh.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that is.
And the other thing is you have to be able to make the item yourself for you to be able to see it. So like I went through this first area, I connected to it. They gave me the ability to make ladders and rope climbing stuff. And suddenly I saw them, everywhere, like, 20 of them in different directions. And it was nice because, there's times where it's like I could just climb this wall or I could walk through this horrible looking area. And, having another player make my life easier for that one time was pretty cool. And then when bridges came into the picture, bridges are a lot more demanding to make, but they're not super hard. And, but people can team up.
Resource-wise or time-wise?
Resource-wise.
Okay.
The nice thing is each of these areas that you go to, these outposts, if you will, have their own set of generating materials that you can grab from, but they're all like separate bank accounts. So if you put your stuff in this one base and you walk off, that shit's gone until you walk back to the one base. It's not like a one-time bank everywhere. And same thing goes for resources generated from each area, which will increase as you do more runs for them. And the whole liking, you can like anything somebody makes, whether it be like a hologram on the ground, whether it be a rope somebody put to help you out. And so there are some people who are super smart that, put them right at the spot that you absolutely need to, and they'll have like 20,000 likes from, a bunch of different people. And so my big brain thought is like, hey, if I put a bridge right here that I know everybody's going to want to cross, I'll get a bunch of likes, and no one's done it. It made me really sad. Anyways, the last thing I got to do after I said that there was a way the game deals with these supernatural monsters, and then there's my way. It turns out that you can see where you're approaching a certain area where these enemies are, because 3 things will happen. The first one is you'll see a rainbow. Rainbow is bad in this game, as well as like those little black smoky things you see like on the screen of the game. The second thing is it will start to do something called Timefall, which is like a super nasty version of acid rain. Except instead of acid rain, it speeds up time. So you got to keep yourself covered when Timefall happens, otherwise you'll turn to like an 80-year-old man and then die. It does it automatically, but it shows the effects to NPCs when they walk into it. And the reason why they introduced this is because they don't want structures everywhere forever. So once the timefall reaches, say, a bridge, it'll deteriorate it, and then eventually that bridge will disappear.
Oh, it affects structures too. That's kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of whack.
It also affects the packages you carry as well, so you got to be quick when you're walking through those areas. But
That makes sense.
if you're in Timefall area, the third thing happens that Nick was describing. It'll do a quick 8-second cutscene where it shows this little radar thing that you keep on your shoulder. Kind of like for you, Glenn, it looks like Victor's special thing on his shoulder. And it turns into this Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball radar showing you that there are BTs in this general direction. So once you get into this given area, you got to sneak around away from these motherfuckers, doing a mixture of like crouch walking and covering your mouth to hold your breath, which you got to figure out how long you can hold your breath, because if you hold it too long, you'll gasp, and that's no good. And you just got to walk through this area for like 15, 20 minutes to get past them. However, there's another way I learned how accidentally. If you get caught by one of these ghosts, it drops like a bunch of swamp on the ground. Where like these gooey hands start grabbing you and trying to pull you down. Yeah, it looks nasty, Glenn. If you can escape out of it using your energy, but if you run out of energy, and I said this when I was describing when I first saw Kojima doing this thing, you get dragged through this weird river system to a certain area of this spot you're in, and a giant creature, which I believe they call a stalker or a watcher, will come try to nuke you, essentially. The 2 times that this giant creature has appeared, it's been a whale, which is kind of reminiscent to the fact, I'm not sure if either of you have played Phantom Pain before. In the very beginning of Phantom Pain, there's a whole scene where you're trying to escape a hospital, and there is a villain in there that has telekinetic powers, and he summons a giant whale. So this is definitely screaming Kojima. Kojima loves the shit out of whales. There's a lot of like images of beached whales and whatnot in the city. I have no idea like why he wants to make it apparent. Well, this is where you fight him using your piss, shit, Twitch stream bath water, or your own blood at this point. Or if you're big brain Tyler over here, you say fuck it and you run away. You run away, you get to the edge of this goop lake, and once you hit that, it says, well, I didn't want to fucking follow you. I didn't want you anyways. It walks away, the rain stops, all these monsters disappear, the rest of the air is completely clear. So the big brain thing is to do is let yourself get caught, run for your life, and that's it for the scene.
Everything goes away.
Yeah. Like, if they kept going, I would, and they were still hiding in different locations, I'd say, no, don't ever do that. But if it just triggers and stops, it's like, yeah. So with that in mind, I feel like I might have cheated the game a little bit doing that, but I'm only like,
you got to get your packages delivered, man. You can't waste time. Time is money, and people need to survive.
Right. And there's a bunch of other stupid shit I could describe about me drinking the monsters so I can have more energy to run a long time.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
The different poses I can make.
Why wouldn't you drink the monster?
And like, if you take damage, you upset BB. So after like a traumatic scene, you got to sit there, detach the BB, and then you kind of rock it up down, holding the PlayStation 4 controller, just rocking it up and down, trying to soothe it and shit. And the amount of shit you got to do to keep this game okay with you is way up there.
Okay.
It's way up there. But the most important thing is I've been having fun.
That's good.
It's weird because a lot of people are saying, the walking is boring, or the only time they're finding it interesting is when they're doing the walking. I like both, as it turns out. So I don't know if I'm just like that outlier of person that's enjoying everything so far, but the only thing I didn't like is sometimes it feels like it's not really giving you the whole picture of your quest, how to handle it or do something. Because you can put a place on the map where you want to go, and it will give you essentially the air mile equivalent. They'll shoot you a straight line, which will then probably go right into a mountain. And it won't show you how to get around that mountain. It just says, hey, I just walked through this mountain. It's like, fuck.
It's kind of like in Skyrim when it was like, all right, you got to go see the Greybeards, like right at the start. Like, how the fuck do I get there? I don't know this area. Then you go and you fight a frost troll. You die a few times. You finally get there, and they're like, nah, fam, we're just gonna shout at you for a bit. Now you got to go back down. We're like, all right, cool.
And there's other things that have been kind of throwing me off. Like, I didn't realize this. Some missions are like, here's 5 packages. We need 4 of them. There's some missions that are like, here's 5 packages. We need all 5 of them. There's one time I got attacked by a bunch of those mule crazy motherfuckers. I dropped 1 package and I went all the way the rest of the way thinking I only needed 4. Realizing then I had to backtrack and find a way to climb down the side of a mountain that I dropped it off of with like a series of different climbing gears. That part pissed me off. but I mean, the name of the game is to avoid the enemies if you can avoid them, and it'll make
Right.
your trips smooth. And other than that, yeah, pretty solid game so far.
I'm excited to hear how it goes on. 'Cause
Well-
then I'll probably end up getting it in March.
I'll tell you about it after I beat Sun here.
Okay.
So this is going to be a longer episode. So unless everybody really needs to hunker down, this is going to be a hot minute here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just
Pokemon-
hoping to say goodbye to my wife before she had to go.
Do you want to take a quick break or quick break to?
No, I just like when it gets closer, I'll just go, and I'll let you guys keep talking, and then I'll step away and say goodbye to her. And then come
Sounds
back.
good.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, I knew this was gonna be a big episode with all the games into it, but I respect that. So, Pokemon Sword and Shield. I got two
Yes, sir.
questions before we jump heavily into it. The first one is who got Sword and who got Shield?
Shield here.
I think the two of us are playing Sword, Tyler.
That is correct. So we got two swords and a shield. I know Nick in the chat.
Just how I like it. One sword in each hand and a shield in my back, because fuck it.
I think it's like shield in my dick.
Just don't get hit.
Why need the shield then,
Defense is good
Ricky?
offense.
Some my back's gotta look cool.
Your dick could
like
look
turtle,
cool too.
you know?
It's like a condom. Medieval condom. Okay, so anyways, the second question is, what did we pick for the starter?
Oh,
like-
That was what I picked. I want to know what Glenn picked.
I picked the rabbit one.
Okay, Score Bunny.
Yeah,
So you got Score Bunny, and Nick and I both got Grookey.
Okay.
you did Grookey.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What is there? No other good leaf Pokemon in this?
They're really just no. There's just really no good leaf Pokemon in general.
Really? I feel like
No, they're-
Bulbasaur is pretty fire.
No, Bulbasaur is trash. Stat wise, Bulbasaur is pretty trash. I have to make it very clear. I'm looking at stats, and for
Oh.
my playstyle, Bulbasaur doesn't fit me whatsoever.
Isn't Celebi also plant?
Yeah, Celebi is grass, but
Grass.
Superior. Is that the name of that Pokemon? Superior?
Superior.
Superior.
Yeah.
That with Contrary is probably one of the best grass Pokemon I've seen.
That's
so
true.
far.
Yeah, actually, with hidden ability, that Superior is very, very strong.
Does,
Superior. What is that an evolution of?
It goes
Snivy.
Snivy.
Whatever.
Generation 5. These
This
are
is
so. This is a nice thing with proper nouns. You can usually pronounce them anyway, unless somebody corrects you. So whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think I know any of those because that's Gen 5 or 6, isn't it?
That's Gen 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I had never
Um,
heard of that one. So
Yeah. So fun fact. At least with me, I align for whatever reason. I'm not a religious person, but I was born on the day of the birthday of one of our gods in Hinduism, the god Hanuman, who is the monkey god, the monkey king. I'm pretty sure something. I can't remember. I don't know the exact lore, and so
Yeah,
I'm always just
Wukong.
aligned with like monkey type Pokemon, which is why Infernape's my favorite.
I respect that.
Wow, I grouped up with somebody named Hanuman. I was like, why do I know that name? And I played with them for a solid couple hours because it was a raid.
Okay.
Okay,
Not
good
the-
to know that had a root in something that is, more meaningful. Cool.
Not to backtrack a little bit, but Death Stranding asked me for my birthday, and I put it in, and it's like, people who have this type of, this birthday range actually have a stronger sense of dooms, which is that sensing ability. I'm like, okay. So did you guys get to that point where some lady randomly asked you your birthday and then kind of ditched you?
In Pokemon?
Oh, yeah, Sword and Shield. Did you miss
No.
that?
No.
Oh, I believe it's right next to the Poke Center of the first town. Somebody's like, hey, I can tell you your fortune. You just got to tell me your birthday. And you tell
I
me
mean,
your
it
birthday.
might have happened. I was tired that night. You watch me play that first area.
Yeah.
I was tired that night, so I might have just missed it.
Yeah, she like looks at her paper and it's like, oh, it's smudged. You'll be lucky. Or not. Bye. And just pieces out. And it's like, okay, that's how they're going to confirm my birthday. That's cool. Just a weird way. So, Nick, it sounds like you are probably the furthest, but Glenn and I might be not really hot in your heels. You're pretty much lapping me, at least by far.
Same.
I've got 11 and a half hours into it right now. And I want to hear, primarily, I want to hear Glenn's thoughts first, because this is like a whole
Yeah.
new game.
It
Like-
is. It's like hearing like just like even when I go to a Poke Center and like heal up my Pokemon and it's the dam 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 dam, but it's like the HD orchestral version compared to what I'm used to on my Game Boy Color, Game Boy, Pokemon Yellow. So it was, I don't know, like I don't know, what was the question? There's a lot of thoughts.
No, just like how has the game been for you so far?
I've
That's
loved
just
it.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, the gameplay itself, like storyline wise, feels very linear. Like it feels like there's some things you can do that will like enhance it for the if you want to go and explore, you might find a random TM or a Firestone or something, or you can fill up
You
your
found a
Pokedex
Firestone? I need one.
and a Thunderstone. Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Brother, you
all in
gotta
that
hook
first
me up.
wild area.
Oh yeah, in the wild area you can find a bunch of things. You must
Yeah.
have good RNG then. Jesus.
I need both
I've only
of
been
those.
fighting mushrooms.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
what-
but the mushrooms are worth like 1,000 gold apiece or 2,500 if you find like I had.
Funny thing is with all Pokemon games, I can go back to my platinum right now probably, and I probably still have like a dozen nuggets. I never sell them because I just never need the money. Like I just end up roaming around fighting enough. I just never need the money.
You
Yeah.
sure in hell don't need the money in the beginning of this game when your mom like gives you the first house mortgage worth of money. 30,000 yen? Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I just got through the first like opening ceremony. Where and so I think I'm like 6 or 7 hours in.
What?
So I've been doing a lot of exploring. I've spent a lot of time like just going back to out of that first wild area and healing up and then coming back. So like all my Pokemon are around level 17 to 20 already.
Okay.
And I haven't even tried the first gym yet, just because there's so much new
There's a
stuff.
lot.
And there's in
Yeah.
that first wild area, there's a bunch of like super powerful Pokemon just walking around. You
Yeah.
know, the ones that you can see that are bigger, like a Rhydon or I saw a Rhydon.
Oh, did you go across the bridge?
Yeah.
You went across the bridge now?
I mean, I just went over there to see what
Balls
it-
to you, dude.
Yeah, just to see. But like there's ghost Pokemon over there by that like
Hmm.
tower in the corner, and they're all like level 27. So I'm like, there's obviously a reason for me to stick around here. I don't know if I'm supposed to come back or what, but like the completionist in me is like, I have to try and catch all the Pokemon here, and also the Dynamax fights and like turning in Watts for things, and it's all like just this whole new experience, and it feels like my old Pokemon experience just upgraded.
Okay.
So I mean, it's still the classic. There are 6 ones. They have a certain amount of times they can do a move before you fix them. But then there's like items you can attach to them that help them gain health, or it enhances their type, things like that are just like new and interesting.
Yeah, welcome to Generation 2.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I'm super far behind.
No,
You're like, wow, cool.
no, honestly, it's nice because kind of reminds me of like an older man was like, yeah, I remember when I used to listen to this band, and like you hear it in like HD, and you see the tear run down the eyes. It's like, it's beautiful. I'm not making fun of you. Yes, I am.
No, I
but
know you're not. It's
it-
it's cathartic, dude. Like
I mean, it's probably the same effect for people going back to WoW Classic after all these years, like revisiting nostalgia, but it's on a newer level at this point.
yeah, for sure. So I mean, I do love it though. Like I'm like even like when my first Pokemon like evolved. I think it was my Scorbunny.
Yes.
Scorbunny
that
was
would've
the
been at
first
level
one.
16. Yeah.
Yeah, it evolved to the next one, which just looks like an angsty teenager.
Yep.
Oh, I
But,
got
like-
news for you, buddy. Oh no, I
What?
don't actually. There's a reason why I picked Grookey.
Is it
I
because
made-
the evolution is really dope?
Yes, lesser of evils, I guess you would say.
I think I think part of our decision with me and Tyler, like when I play a Pokemon game, I'm looking at stats and looking for specific team builds. So before I even play the game, I have no issue personally just going through all the new Pokemon, and then looking at the base stats and seeing how they line up with my playstyle. But then I'm also looking at visually, does the Pokemon look cool?
Okay.
Right. For me,
I feel that.
when I pick my starter, I'm not going to do that for competitive play or anything like that. I just want a cool looking starter. And to me personally, I always thought that the water Pokemon starters were the coolest. I thought Blastoise looked cool. I thought Feraligatr looked cool. Yeah, like
Yep.
Empoleon and all that stuff. I thought they all looked
Swampert,
yeah, they looked cool as
Samurott
shit
was
to me.
even cool looking.
And so I was originally going to go with Sobble as my starter, the water starter, which would have completed our little McDonald's triangle over here. The problem is, though, I made a mistake and I decided to Google final evolution of Sobble because in Sun and Moon days, Popplio was my personal favorite. It was a cute looking clown looking seal. And before the final evolutions got released, people were trying to guess what it was going to look like. And the version I saw that got me super excited was this clown looking motherfucker that was, this big beef daddy of a seal. What we got was a little different. We got Primarina, which is a seal that looked like it came from an opera, which makes sense with its water fairy type. It was very different though, and it didn't feed into my male power fantasy, I guess, if you will, of this badass looking starter monster. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get Sobble. Sobble looks, like timid and stuff like that. I'm sure Sobble's final form will turn into like, I have gotten past my teenager years and now I understand and I'm Incineroar or something. And no, that's not the case. It's not the case with Scorbunny either, I don't think. It's out of my power fantasy. But when I saw Gricky's final form, I knew that Gricky was going to be my boy.
It's funny because the Scorbunny's final evolution aligns more with my playstyle, but I'm like, but Grookey's final evolution looks so much cooler. I want it, and so I just built around it. I don't think I've ever had a grass starter since Trico. Trico is from Gen 3, and Sceptile aligns with my playstyle. It's fast, hits hard. It's not very tanky, but I don't care. I just want to hit fast and hard. Like I want to go first. That's my playstyle. I don't care if one hit from you will take me out. I'm gonna do that to you first.
I mean, that style I think is in competitive play. I'd go for that too. I was a big Blaziken fan in terms of that.
Oh,
Blaziken was great for that kind of stuff, especially when you can get its mega evolution form.
But Typhlosion, bro.
Yeah.
Woo.
Typhlosion, I'm sad because Typhlosion is one of the weakest fire types, I think.
He just looks
fire
so
starters.
Cool. I don't even
It looks
care.
very
He
cool
just
though.
Looks awesome.
Very cool.
But so when I looked at Sobble's final evolution, I realized that I was staring face to face to what my essentially is. This must be what the hipsters wanted. Like it's a cruel way of me putting it like that, but
yeah. So we can go on about.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna sigh and look off into the distance. So just regard me.
Because there's a lot to unpack here. Who wants to? So I'll go into all the negatives later, but for the most part, I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying it. The towns, the landscapes, specifically the towns and the cities that they've built, have been very nice to explore, and like the detail there has been good. I've had a very good time exploring the first city that you get to. That's like from the wild area. I don't know if you roamed around there, but it's nice. It's a nice multi-layered city, and it's got like this old style to it. A little steampunky. I really like it. There's been lots of nice quality of life changes, which like you've got autosave now.
Yep.
Which I don't think will ever take away the anxiety of me knowing that I haven't saved for a while, but
Did I
knowing
save?
that I haven't done
Did I
it,
save?
and if something goes wrong, then that'd probably be okay. And I can just reload to like the last autosave, but I'd still rather manually save so I know exactly which point I'm reloading to. Um, on the and I don't know if you know any of you noticed it, but I just noticed it before we got onto this. You can swap. So when you open up your menu, you can swap around the icons, the
Really?
order of the icons for the Pokedex and Pokemon accessing your party and the save.
No.
You can swap them around.
Wow.
That's
That's pretty
interesting.
cool.
I thought that was really cool. That was a nice like kind of it gives you more like this
Well,
is if you
customized
wanted to-
UI, you know,
yeah,
that's really
yeah. You
neat.
get to what you want to as soon as you can. Um, I really like the new TM system. So from generation
TM
one,
or TR?
so yeah, so that new system. So from generation one, you had TMs and HMs, and the HM system, which gave you the ability to navigate the world, but were moves that you could not forget unless you're going to a very specific person, um, was dropped. I want to say in Gen 5 and Gen 6. They gave you like a thing to traverse the world and stuff. We're like, oh, you call this Charizard, and this Charizard will fly you here. Is that am I remembering that correct,
Yes.
Tyler?
Generation 1, if you learned an HM, you couldn't lose it no matter what. So
Oh, you couldn't lose it no matter what. So
It
there's no
wasn't-
move deleter in Gen 1.
I believe, I'm not even sure if there was one in Generation 2. I'm pretty sure it
Yeah, if
wasn't
you learned
until
like surf or something, it was there forever.
it wasn't until Ruby Sapphire that
Cut.
there was a move deleter.
I feel like there was a move deleter in at least in Crystal, in the town where you fight Claire.
Okay, I mean, if you say so. I know which town you're talking about, and it seems like there might have been something there. I think you're right, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, there would have been
Yeah,
a move deleter there.
I just looked it up. There was a move deleter. Sorry, in Generation 2. So yeah, no, Generation 1 there wasn't, but Generation 2 onwards there was.
Right. And then after, I believe, Black and White, I think starting in X and Y, they introduced the concept of, hey, let's not lock down your move set with an HM style move. Let's just rent you a Pokemon you can use or some other bullshit that'll let you get around. Or otherwise just make it a TM.
Yeah, because that led to you having certain Pokemon that became HM slaves, right? So you'd have
I was going to say the
Bidoof.
word, but okay, yes.
I mean, that's the community-based word. So you'd have a Bidoof in your party that would be able to do Rock Smash, Cut, Surf, and whatever else, and then you just pull them into your party just to navigate the world, and then you put them away so that you didn't have to bog down your party with it. But certain moves, like I think Surf, did 80 special damage, which were pretty okay to have around anyways, if you wanted variety or if your water type didn't learn any better like water type moves. So some moves were okay, some moves were not so great to have around because they just didn't do any damage and they wouldn't cut it at higher levels. So Generation 6 removed that, and then they made TMs unlimited use.
Hmm.
I want to say that's Generation 6 as well. And then
Wait,
Generation. Yeah, so TMs used to be like they used to have one use, but then Generation 6, X and Y, and Sun and Moon, they were unlimited use.
So I can use that on as many Pokemon as I want?
Yes.
So TM specifically, yes, with this game.
In this new game, there's something called TRs, which you'll get from like boss battles and stuff that you can use one time, but they say TM instead of TR. It'll let you use it as many times as your characters can learn it. I know. Take it in. It's pretty nice. You don't have to choose what one creature. All of them can learn that one cool attack if it's wide of a range enough.
And you can
Yeah,
cook. You can cook for your Pokemon.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that too. But yeah, with the TMs, I think I've looked at the full list of TMs and TRs, and it seems like it's a really nice balance on both sides with power moves. So there's gonna be some choice in the TRs, and like unless you go and farm for this specific thing, you're gonna have to sit and choose who you want to give it to. Whereas there are just as many like on the TM side that are gonna hit hard, and you don't have to worry, and you can just give them out to whoever.
So we're talking about like we want to focus on things we like right now, right? For
Yeah.
old Tyler and Nick. Okay. I'm going to say I spent a majority of my time in the wilds, the first wild specifically, and it sounds like Glenn did too. If he's put in that many hours, and uh, I think that is, I'm not seeing it as a good thing, but a neutral thing. I just want to talk about it. It feels like this is their idea of somehow incorporating even like a slight taste of Pokemon Go, where instead of having like a specific general area, like say a volcanic area for fire Pokemon, this is just a big ass field where you're going to get a wild diversity of Pokemon. And whether or not you want to call that either lazy or just giving you a cornucopia of Pokemon to pick from for the first gym, it's a huge difference to what we're used to. Because I don't know about you, Nick, you saw Pokemon I didn't get to see on my time of day when I was playing. It was
Before
wow.
we carry on up the wild area, I wanted to correct myself. It's Generation 5 they introduced the unlimited TM system. But yeah, the wild area is interesting.
I love it. It just feels like Safari Zone to me from Gen 1. Like, I was like, when I got to go to the Safari Zone for the first time in Yellow, I was just fucking elated because it was no more just Rattatas and Spearows and Pidgeys. You know, like I got to like, they were like, pay some money. You're going to go in here. There's going to be some dope stuff. And here, like, it seems like because they have those nests with the DX things. So I don't know if there's that much RNG in the wild zones as far as what's going to be there, because every time I've gone near that tower, it's ghost type Pokemon. You know, every time you go near this one area, it's ice type Pokemon. It's the dumb ones that, sorry, the ones that look like ice cream cones. Don't like that. But
I'm in agreement with you there.
okay.
That's probably
But
one of
like,
the worst designs next to Trubbish and Garbodor.
I'm gonna say I saw one design today that I was very upset about, but we'll save about that later.
yeah, but
it sounds
I
like
do like the wild zone. I like it.
So to give away more about the wild zone without spoiling too much for you guys, so I really like the system now of finding Pokemon. You've got the overworld where you can run into them, and you can also still find them in the grass. Um, there are a few. So in a given area, you'll have, let's say there are 10 Pokemon in that area total. There'll be like maybe 8 of those in the overworld, and there'll be 9 of those in the grass. So there'll be some overlap, and then there'll be some that you can only find in the grass walking around.
And if I'm not mistaken, the maps will actually show if they're supposed to be there regularly, right?
So yeah, so if you've encountered them previously, your Pokedex, it'll show you their habitat. And then also, if you open up your town map, it'll show you the current weather in that area, because the weather will also affect the types of Pokemon that pop up.
Yeah, what the frick is that? There's weather.
Yeah.
Sorry, everything in this game is just blowing my mind. Like, it's like, you know, I'm fighting Ice Cream Cone Head, and it's like there's a blizzard, and it's like this, you know, the blizzard pelts your Pokemon for 3 damage, and he heals because he's made of ice. And I was like,
this is the accumulation of all the generations, like some of the knickknacks into one, and it's just like overload for you. So what's normal to us because we've seen it before, it's just like everything's new to you, and it's really
great.
nice to see actually.
There is a little bit of problems with the weather I saw in this game. My prime example is I'm catching Pokemon at 3 o'clock in the morning, which means it's night as shit outside in the game. And so I'll encounter a Pokemon, and it's like, the sun is shining brightly, you know, the boost fire type. I'm like, where the fuck is it then?
So I've seen...
Wait, is it real time? Is it based on real time?
It's supposed to be, but apparently until you beat the game, the day and night cycle is a little janky, because the game has like there's
plot.
The day and night cycle is driven by the story first.
Yeah.
But then there is also a day and night cycle that works with the weather system hand in hand. So there's a reason why some of it is janky right now.
About to say, because I do remember that they were like, I spent like 6 hours of gameplay, you know, like running around the wilds, and I saw like the day kind of like change a little bit. But I was like, I do remember seeing that there was real, like, you know, what you had said, and you just reminded me of it. I was like, and then thinking back, I'm like, that didn't happen. But they told me, oh, you need to register to go to the ceremony tomorrow or whatever, you know, tomorrow. So it makes sense
when you go and register, you're going to go to the hotel, and it's nighttime then.
Yeah.
Story-wise. And so the game's going to fall, like, that takes higher priority than what's actually happening.
I watched Dark Crystal for the first time yesterday.
So you kind of called them out. You called them DX. Are we talking about the Dynamax?
Yeah,
Those?
where they got
Okay.
the things and you can get watts and stuff and have a chance to like group players around you to like. I don't know if this is spoilers.
No, it's
I
not.
mean,
Like
no,
this has been known for a while.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, yeah, like where they have those red things with the lights in the air and you can collect the watts and then also like have a chance to like, have your
Well,
gigantic score bunny fight the other
the-
thing.
I don't know if we knew about the watts, but no, I mean that's fine. It's a new currency.
just
that
a
you
different
earn in the
currency,
wild
yeah.
area,
Mhm.
and you can do a whole bunch of things with it. We're not gonna give away too much.
Pro tip: talk
Yeah.
to the fisherman.
Wink, wink. Have either of you catched those Watson yet?
Watson?
No, there's like vendors right at the entrance to the big town where you can cash
Oh,
it in
and you
for
can
Motor
get
stuff.
like
stuff.
life stones and stuff. Yeah.
You can get a bunch of things. You can buy food for cooking at
Mhm.
the camp, and you can buy a few other things. I don't want to
Mhm.
give that away. And there are other things you can do as well that I'm not gonna tell you guys until you find.
Oh,
out.
because you're further in the game. Yeah, yeah. So it's valuable to because I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna spend all of these watts. So it's not
It's
bad
valuable.
if I hold on to them.
No, hold on to
Okay,
them.
okay,
I mean, unless you see something you like, I'm not about to
Honestly,
tell you.
I've not been. I've had no reason to spend them other than talking to the fisherman.
We'll talk about the watts after. But yeah, no, like it's cool. They've added 2 different currencies that are relative and useful. Like they're like relevant to the areas and what you do with them. Yeah.
And so I guess in my head, I kind of want to know what our teams are right now.
I just tried to turn mine on so I could show you, but apparently my chart it died. So I can throw it on the charger and then show you in a little bit.
Yes,
Actually,
yes, Nick.
why don't I use this moment for you guys to continue to talk? I will go plug this bad boy in, say goodbye to my wife, and then I can show you later.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. BRB.
So
Okay.
Tyler, do you want to know my do you want to know my team?
Yeah. Are you like not excited to tell me, or is it spoilers or something?
My team is pretty much fully assembled, I think, from
Really?
everything I've seen. I'm there might be maybe 1 or 2 more changes, but for the most part, fully assembled. So my Grookey, I've got it to the final evolution.
Nice.
I have a Dreadnought, which is Choodle's evolution.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Centiscorch, which is that big fire centipede that we saw.
Yep.
I have I'm starting on the evolution line from Impidimp, the little silly little fuck,
Impotent.
like the little like the little pink tiny little troll imp thing,
Okay, sure.
the silly one. I'm starting on that evolution line. I'm the second one. What else do I have? I've got a really cool looking Pokemon, but I don't want to tell you what it's called just because I don't want to spoil it on the show. But it's a electric poison type.
Talk.
It's a
I guess I shouldn't say it out loud either, huh? The one that you get from the breeder house.
Yeah, I just don't know how much people want to know or not. But yeah, so okay, I got Toxel and I have the evolution for Toxel and it's pretty badass.
Right. I didn't know whether I wanted it or not, and so I looked up. I was like, well, what does it turn into? And I discovered there's mechanics to it that's pretty freaking dope.
Yeah, I don't think that they have an impact on anything, but
Yeah.
it just gives you, it's just an aesthetic thing. And then I have a Surfetched.
Do you now?
I have
Yeah.
a Surfetched.
Oh shit.
And
Sorry
it
about
is
the loud noise,
hard.
guys.
Very good. Yeah, so that's my kind of team that I'm going for. I was running a Carkol. But
Are you making fun of me?
no.
Okay, just the whole charcoal carcoal thing. I have no idea what Pokemon you're talking about.
I'm so it's that little the roly-coly. I don't know if you would have gotten that part.
Yeah,
It's the
yep.
rock type for this generation.
I would have
evolution
saw
is
it.
called
He
Carkol.
hasn't yet.
Yeah, so its evolution is actually called Carkol.
So you're going almost like full new Pokemon team. Except
So
for
my rule
Farfetch'd.
with any new Pokemon game is always new Pokemon. I never use any Pokemon from any other generation. My first playthrough is going to be always new Pokemon from that generation. Surfetch'd makes the cut this time, even though you start with Farfetch'd, because Surfetch'd is an evolution introduced in this generation.
No, that's
So
fair.
all my runs are always brand new Pokemon, and no legendaries ever in any of my main teams. And I like to have a wide balance, widespread throughout. Before, when the HMs, like when HMs were relevant, I always used to have a flying type. But the moment they gave us a way to not have HMs, I stopped. I started dropping flying types, and I always usually go for the pseudo legendary. But this time, I don't think I am going to, because I really like the team that I have right now. Um, so, and I like to have like a wide coverage, so I haven't built their move sets up really well yet. But the point will always be, no matter what you throw at me, I'll always have one Pokemon that has a move to counter that.
Hmm, hmm. I don't have my Switch on me. I'm letting it charge back there, so you'll probably have to name them off for me, Nick. The team I have that I know offhand is I have my Grookey, which is now a Thwacket, I believe, or Thwatchet.
Thwacker.
Thwacker, okay. I have Vulpix, yeah, because
Nice.
it's my mom's favorite. My mom's. This is gonna be a real Freudian slip. My wife's favorite Pokemon. I got the Pikachu, so I'm hoping to get, I'm probably not gonna get a Alolan. I'm probably gonna get either I don't think there's a Galarian version. It's probably just gonna be a regular old Raichu, which is fine. I'll probably drop it, but I like having Raichu in the party, at least for the mid game.
Right.
So that's 3 so far. I have Galarian Lanoon in the team because I want Obstagoon like a motherfucker.
I was gonna have Obstagoon, but I don't like the fact that it's got a dark and normal typing. If it was just normal, like dark, I would have been okay.
Yeah, it is super weak to fighting moves. I learned that the hard way.
But it's quick. Like even Obstagoon has a pretty high base speed stat.
And so in my head, it's like, well, Raichu's going to be my favorite Pokemon. Ninetales is my wife's favorite Pokemon. And Zigzagoon is Brandon's favorite Pokemon. So it's just kind of nostalgia. I got those 3 in the team. Plus, I got Grookey. That makes 4. I don't remember what its base form is, but it evolved into Corvisquire, the mid-evolution of Corviknight.
Rookidee.
Rookidee.
The flying type for this generation, yeah.
Right. And then lastly, it's been kind of bouncing around. I don't remember what my 6th one is, but shit. Yeah, I got a full team, but like I haven't done like any type match testing with it just yet. Right. So it's probably gonna bounce around as we go. Definitely not gonna be my competitive team, but hopefully the one that takes me to the champions. So
right. Yeah, no, like it's been tough over the last few generations for my playstyle because they're not a lot of fast, hard hitters. Over the last 3 generations, I want to say they've
like
all been a little bit slower now.
Or...
Yeah, like Generation 4 was perfect for that for me because most of my team were glass cannons. We had Infernape, Roserade, Floatzel, Gliscor,
yep,
Garchomp, and then I'm having trouble remembering my last one. Fuck, this is gonna bother me.
Oh man, I couldn't tell you your own. I'm just like trying to think. It's like I'm trying to think of what that 6th Pokemon was. It must. Oh, Dreadnought. I got Dreadnought too.
Oh, Dreadnought's nice. I got a Dreadnought with strong jaws.
Yes.
So bite attacks do 50%, like 50% more damage.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah. So Pokemon have abilities, and each some Pokemon can have a single ability, multiple abilities. Some Pokemon have hidden abilities. Hidden abilities you have to get through specific breeding methods. But then the 2 abilities you have to look and see what different kinds. So Choodle can come with Strongjaw or something else. I can't remember what the other one is, but basically you keep catching them until you find them. Oh, Glenn, there's so much. We can even tell you about natures and how that affects.
I was about to bring that up. Nah, let him enjoy what he's gotten so far because I mean, trying to get into the nerdy glasses of like that level of fighting. No, fuck.
Wait.
Yeah, and I'm not about to tell something how to
like
play
how fire is good against grass. Is that what you're talking about?
No, so that's type matching.
Okay.
So we're talking. So Pokemon can have different natures. I can't remember how many different natures there are, but natures can either have a neutral effect or they can have a beneficial and hindering effect. So they will be beneficial to a stat and hindering to a stat.
I just don't know where all of this is a lot of stuff that doesn't seem to be listed when I look at the Pokemon's information.
Sure.
They are, but then you need to know what you're looking for.
Oh, okay.
So,
But it's not something you'd be used to, Tyler.
for the nature thing, if you wanted to know what your Pokemon's nature is, you know how you can go to a Pokemon summary?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the very last tab, it'll show you what nature it has, as well as
Okay.
like where you caught it. And if
Okay.
you don't know what that nature does, if you look at the stats, like the attack and stuff, it will show one in blue and then one in red. So it'll show you what that nature boosted and what that one nerfed, essentially.
Okay.
And, you know, obviously, if you go into like that super, 100% competitive thing, like let's say for a Jolteon, Jolteon is special attack and speed, so you'd want something that focuses on that speed but lowers its attack. That way it goes faster, and no one, since Jolteon doesn't use attack, you can nerf that. So it's like it's preference and like a competitive play and like the whole meta nature, but
Yeah.
you are not fighting on behalf of Smogon, which is that fucking website
No,
that'll give you
yeah.
all sorts of that shit. So just enjoy it.
There is a enjoy it, but there's a really nice transition between like the casual and competitive. Like there's different levels. It's not like a clear like line that now you're a competitive player. There's like a nice gradient between at which point you can easily slide yourself on until you're clearly competitive or clearly casual. And I would say I'm probably right in the middle with how I build my teams, even for just purely, like in-game play. I'm not even trying to go competitive ever. Don't think I ever will. But like I'm just teetering that fine line between starting to EV and IV train and breed and do all of those min-maxing things.
And
I'm just trying to
meanwhile,
remember my Pokemon. Like I only remember 3 of the 6 that I had in. It's crazy.
okay, like I'm gonna say like 10 hours after I beat this game, if there's as little post game as I am being told, I'll probably be at the forges of the breeder center, just like, yes, now you fucking make eggs. And,
So, in terms of cool features, there are 2 more things which I think are notable. The the Trainer League cards, which I think was a really fun addition.
I like
Yes.
that.
It's kind of like trading cards, and you get to create your own and like update it whenever you want. And you get as you keep going, I can tell you now, each area that you visit, I'm pretty sure, and after each gym you beat, you get more kind of like backgrounds and effects that
Options,
unlock.
yeah.
And even like printing, like the printing, the foil, you even get more options, and those unlock
Instead of
as
just
well.
matte or plastic or whatever it was.
Yeah. Right now I have one other one, but I'm assuming there are going to be at least a few more that unlock as you go. on.
nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Uh,
hear the 3 that I guess I do remember 4 of the Pokemon I have in. I have Magikarp because I
Okay.
want that Gyarados.
Fair.
Kirlia.
Kirlia.
Okay.
you got a Vrolts? What the
Yeah, it was one of
fuck?
I got a Ralts as well.
It was one of my
From one of the
DX ones.
Dynamax-
It was a
I
cute
want
Dynamax.
another guy.
Do you
And I
remember
got a Clefairy.
Clefairy? Okay. Okay.
What do I remember? What
gender
gen?
your Curlia is? Because okay, so I'm gonna tell you now. No, not just that. So Curlia has 2 different final evolutions based on the gender. If it's
Oh.
a female, it'll evolve into Gardevoir. If it's a male, you can use a stone to evolve it into Gallade.
Which one's better?
That depends on what you want. Gardevoir is Psychic Fairy. Gallade is Psychic Fighting. Gardevoir is a special attacker. Gallade's a physical attacker.
Oh.
Gardevoir is fast and hits hard, but special attacks primarily. I don't remember if Gallade's fast, but it hits hard.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the ratio is 75-25 female to male for routes. So
So males are actually more uncommon.
yes. So it's most likely that you have a female.
Female would be the little plus one, right? Not the arrow one. The arrow
Yes.
one's the
Yeah,
male.
it's
If
the-
you're asking us
I
what
was-
the 2000 old symbol for male and female is, Glenn, I got a lot of questions going on here. Why is Pokemon so binary? Ugh. Anyways,
So if you have any questions, honestly, you have 2 amazing resources here.
Yeah.
And so just so that we don't spend too long, Pokemon Camp camping.
So
Mhm.
good.
Have you? How do you guys feel about the camping?
I love it.
I mean, after Glenn talked about glamping over in some spot of Great Britain, I was kind of excited, but then I realized it was just a tent. Oh, camping's fun. I didn't mess around with
Play
the
games.
the toys and stuff yet. I'm assuming that's probably the more fun part. The only time I've done it is if I wanted to cook something. How is playing with the toys for you guys though?
Really, really fun. It's like really cute. It's like nothing like super great, but it's like really cute because I had an Eevee at the start, and so you could toss a ball, and then the
Where did you
Eevee would
find
go after the
Eevee?
ball, and then come back. So because I have a save file for Let's Go Eevee, I just got a free Eevee. Like
Wait,
I
so
just got-
Let's Go transfers over, but Pokemon Go doesn't?
so no, so I had a save file. So because I had the save file, they gave me an Eevee. It
Yeah.
it wasn't a transfer. It was just one of those things in like one of those games, like in a series of games, because you have a previous save file, you can get cool shit from the thing.
Okay.
But
Like-
shit will carry over when Pokemon Home comes out. Then you transfer everything to Pokemon Home, and then you can transfer that to Sword and Shield.
Wait. My Pokemon Go account will transfer to Sword and Shield.
Not the account, you can transfer Pokemon to Pokemon Home starting sometime in Feb or March next year, whenever the app comes out. And then you can transfer those.
Pokemon in Pokemon Go.
But keep in mind they completely under-leveled those Pokemon. So even if it's like a 13,000 whatever CR, whatever it's called, it's
I
probably
have
gonna
I have like a 99 IV Mewtwo.
it's gonna be watered down.
What?
Yes, it will.
And what's the point?
I agree. When Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee came out, I moved over Perfect IV Pokemon over to that, and it gave me average of the road stats. It just gave me the Pokemon, but nothing that came with it. Beware.
Yeah.
So
Then I'll
only
just
So-
transfer my trash Mewtwo, so I'll still have a Mewtwo.
Big- big
If
brain
Mewtwo
right
can-
there.
If Mewtwo can be in Pokemon Sword and Shield.
yeah,
don't think it can.
yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure there's no legendaries allowed in this. Except
Oh,
for the
I
ones that
can't
came
bring
in
my
the game.
shiny Moltres.
I know
in?
I know there's a
Ugh.
Mew, there's game code for the Mew, but
I have Mew.
Yeah. So with the camping, it's fun because it's really cute. You have like a feather duster thing.
Yeah.
And then like you can call your Pokemon over, and it's kind of like fight training. It's kind of like with your cat, but
Yeah.
like it's you just really like
Time to
you-
die! Dodge!
Like
It's
imagine
really-
imagine seeing like this big fighting Pokemon. It's like, oh,
A
you're
choke.
doing this feather thing, and then it just comes and punches you in the face. That's really it.
It's
doesn't do
really
any
funny
action.
to do it with Score Bunny's evolution because he's like, I'm just chilling here. You want to talk to me? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna hit this.
And then you can throw the ball, and then they'll go and fetch the ball and bring it back.
Oh
to you,
my
and it's
God.
really cute.
My wife's heart exploded when I threw the ball and the corgi. It's not a Pokemon. It's a corgi with a Pikachu tail. Picked up the ball and ran back, and then I DX'd it too in a fight.
What's that Pokemon's
I was like,
name?
Sarah, look, giant
Yamper or something like
corgi.
that?
Yamper.
Yamper.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Um,
Fuck that
and
Pokemon.
then the cooking is just a fun mini game, and it's just one of
It's
those.
always
things that
curry.
complete- Yeah, well, I mean, they said it was going to be curry, and so you just
Okay.
do different combinations, and it'll just end up being because that's like a Japanese staple.
Then
Japanese
why
curry.
is all the dialogue just super British?
Because Galar is based in the UK.
Oh, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
it was
There we
based. It
go.
was that's why we have a corgi in the game because the Queen's favorite
Queen's dog.
Queen
Yeah.
has corgis. Yeah.
Okay. I was just like, what is with this dialogue? I feel like I have to
mate.
read it with a British
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you was like some of his like especially one I think one dialogue when Leon comes up is like calls your character's name, you're all right. And I think there's so many people and he just says all right. And there's so many people who would not understand that. Because there'd be so many people who'd be like, what's all right? Are you okay? Because that's just a standard thing. If you're walking down in London when I was there, a standard thing was, oh hey, what's up? You all right? And that was just like, how's it going? You okay? Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's just kind of the standard greeting. So it does have a lot of slang, which I kind of appreciate.
The right font of information you are, aren't you?
No, I didn't. I thank you for telling me that because I was genuinely confused.
Yeah.
There's some terms
Everybody,
I
it was
still don't
always
understand.
mum. It was mum, not mom or mother.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, and I was just like, this feels super British. I thought this was a Japanese game.
Like, it got really hardcore into the slang though. It's like, hey, thanks for having like a skimp wah with me. Here's a Pokeball. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? It's like, that was not the term, but it was like, it was some like, okay, yeah.
There was one time when I had my roommate Dylan has spent a decent amount of time in the UK, and I was like, what does this mean? I literally just didn't go past the dialogue because I was playing on the TV at that point, not on the handheld. And he was like, oh, that means that they're going to see you there. And I was like, how
In
does
what
that
world?
that? Yeah. And he was like, in England? And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, I told them I was in the Americas. I was supposed to use English, not English, you know? But
The Queen's English, as God
Yeah.
intended it. It's weird because it feels like in this game they are putting the influence of like the region it's inspired off of a lot heavier than I've seen anywhere else in terms of like talking and stuff.
I agree.
Like
Yeah.
in Sun and Moon, the big thing was Alola. Not even Aloha, just Aloha doing the whole square thing.
Alola, and kind of like the vibe, like visually how the game was set up, like the world
Visually,
was built, and
yes.
also just the vibe of the people was kind of like laid back, relaxed, and I think that was a good like seamless kind of like, it's not super like Hawaiian because it's not
Polynesian.
Hawaii, but it's very just kind of like we're
It's
taking
just
some bits of
Polynesia.
it that, you know. Yeah, exactly.
But it just feels like
the
this
fire
game is so
answers,
much
like Marowak.
intense about it.
Yeah.
I went to fucking Stonehenge, essentially. There's a Stonehenge-like area in this game. Oh,
Spoilers.
yes. Hey, Glenn, this area is based off of Britain. I'm sorry, I got news for you. There's going to be a castle. Look out for it.
Maybe there's
So
going
are-
to be some Easter Island heads.
Actually, who knows? Maybe. I'm not gonna say anything. So are we?
Wow, Glenn. Roll for
anything
insight on
else,
that.
like,
DC
because we're
5.
gonna be talking more about this next week. Are there any
Yeah.
of the good points that we want to bring up? Because I have a list of things.
I
Of,
will
like,
say I
negative
have
things.
about 45 minutes left
Okay.
that I can
Yeah.
talk.
I'm having a general good time with it.
Yeah.
I want to make it clear before I start this too. I'm having just a good time in general too. It's the thrill of being able to explore like a mainline Pokemon game on a Switch on my monitor and explore and see some of these places visually built has been fantastic. Starting with the visuals, some of the textures are just god fucking awful, and it makes me sad because Breath of the Wild is on this console. And I just don't understand it. Right at the start, if you let the starting thing go on long enough, the Pokeball and you notice this, Tyler, the Pokeball that you first see like on the stadium ground, it just looks like it's from 10 years ago. Like the texture on it just looks so bad. It looks flat.
Looks like
It
from
looks
Pearl
blurry.
and Diamond.
And then it's just like textures at a distance, like textures when you're roaming the world. Like in town, some of the textures are great, but textures when you're roaming the world have just been disappointing. Like when you're roaming the wild area, the trees look god awful. How could the trees look so bad? Like I honestly feel like the trees look like shit compared
My
to
reference is a Game Boy Color, so I can't give input on that.
It looks like it came from Ocarina of Time 3D, where they just took the same style thing where it was an updated tree with sprites for leaves, but they really didn't try.
Right. Glenn, and in your defense, I understand that, but then when you see gameplay of Breath of the Wild and what the Switch can do, I think you'll understand what I mean because there's things like the Pokemon popping up in the overworld when you're not like when you're kind of like medium range, you're not even like super far out. I don't understand that because
Yeah,
when
they
you
load
see the
'em
kinds
in.
of things the Nintendo could do with Breath of the Wild, because you're in an open world at all times, and it would make sense that things pop in that game because it's such a wide, vast open world and wild world that you're like traveling around. So it makes sense why to save on like processing time to make the game run faster and better, they'd have to pop things in. But here it's not on that level or that scale. So I don't understand with Nintendo being 1/3 owners of this whole thing, like the franchise, like why wasn't there anything to help with that? Like I don't understand that design choice or like the lack of like I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. It shouldn't happen. Another thing that really bugged me is the fact that if you wanted to control in 2019, if you wanted to control the audio of the game, you have to go to a specific person
Get
in
the
the city
earphones.
to get the earphones. That is just bad user experience design. Like base, it's not even like a thing. We want you to find these. If you've got the earphones to change the kind of music, because you could do that in one of the games where once you beat somebody post game, you could change the kind of battle music you hear, whether you want to hear modern style or you wanted to hear the retro style. So if it was something like that where you could change the soundtrack or get optional things, okay, great. But to like a basic thing such as changing the volume levels of different things in the game should be a base feature. It should be something that the game just starts with.
But it's instead given to an NPC that you might not even talk to.
You like, unless you were like me and you just like talking to everybody, because you know after playing a Pokemon game for so long that everybody will just, some random person will give you a life-changing thing. Like you wouldn't know otherwise if you're brand new to the game. Like there's no indication.
He
Um
literally, I remember talking to that guy. He was just like, "I'm gonna give you something. There's no reason. I just figured you'd like it." And he just hands it to you, and I was just like, "Wait, this feels like a really useful item."
I think that's probably.
But I honestly didn't like. I was cool with everything, so I was like, "I don't need to change it. I'm not gonna wear them." Like it didn't bother
Right.
me, but I'm not everybody, so.
That what you just said there, Glenn's probably the one thing I don't like about this game. Well, the worst thing I don't like about this game is they just give it to you. It feels like I keep getting, at least in the beginning, I feel like everything just keeps getting handed to me. And it's so
You get
frustrating.
$30,000 off the get-go. You get 20 Pokemon balls off the get-go. EXP share can't be turned off. XP share cannot be turned off, which is a stupid thing.
I love that so much.
I'm not saying
because
now,
I had to.
no,
Gen
and I'm
1, you had to like. It's like I want to level up a Magikarp.
Yep, switch
you
level.
can't do it. You start them first, and you have to swap them out immediately, and know that next Pokemon's going to get attacked. I love EXP share.
I'm not saying XP share is a bad thing.
Okay.
The fact that you cannot turn it off in Generation 6, Generation 5, Generation 7, I think, whenever they introduced like the mass XP share, you had the option to turn it on and off, which is just a very basic, good design choice because some people might want to play the game at a higher difficulty, but there's no difficulty option. So by turning it off, you'd have to go the extra effort of training everybody. And I have this thing here. It's I'll find the full article, but Shigeru Omori, the director of Game Freak, those who have it turned off, he said this about XP share. Those who have it turned off want to train one specific Pokemon. We thought, is there a way to achieve that? There is, simply by putting the rest of your Pokemon in the PC, which is the most lazy like development I've ever heard of in my life, and I'm not a developer. That's not an easy way. You're limiting somebody's capabilities.
Well, but you have automatic. You can put things into the box without being in a Poke Center. So like that's really
fair.
simple.
But then I feel like that's an extra thing that they added to counteract that. We didn't want to give you this simple option of flicking this binary code on or off. So we're gonna make you access your PC from anywhere you want, which is again one of the things where some people like it. I think it's a good thing to some extent, but it makes
And
the game
I
too
hate
easy.
it. Yeah.
I'm split on it. Like I think there's a very fine line. It's a hard line to balance between catering to casual players and hardcore players, but this is one of those things where it's just clearly like there used to be a thrill, there used to be a challenge in being able to go back and forth or to the next area and then going to the PC there rather than just accessing on the go. But then again, like I feel like that's one of the things like a casual player wouldn't mind, and that's fine. I just feel like you had toggleable options at the very least for certain things. I mean, the fact is, in terms of the link access your PC from anywhere, I can just not do it, and I've never done it. Right?
Mhm.
It's just as simple as that.
Same.
But
I haven't
it's
either.
just like it. Even with Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, it's just been handholdy throughout. I remember when Gary was a badass. Your rival was a badass.
Oh my
and they'd
god,
kick your
Hop
ass.
is a baby.
Hop
Jeez
is a
Louise, he's terrible.
Hop needs to grow, and it's been the case for like 2 or 3 generations now, where your rival, who's supposed to be your biggest challenge, will pick the starter that's weak to yours.
See, I would love if they would just make them have scaled levels for what you have done with your Pokemon.
See, now
Like-
now we're roaming into territory where it's kind of like choosing
Yeah.
difficulty, and I would like that too,
Yeah.
honestly. I
I
would
mean-
appreciate that.
Because
I'm into
literally I
that.
was at double his level by the time I fought, like every time I fought him.
Nick, you're muted.
It's also stupid when you start the game and you do your first battle with him and you pick your starters. He has 2, but it doesn't matter because you're gonna beat him easily. His first
Yeah.
Pokemon, which is a Wooloo, and then conveniently you're gonna get enough XP to level up and also learn a type move that's gonna be good against his starter.
I think it's a good way to, especially if this is I think you're right about the balance thing, but especially for the fact that this is effectively introducing Pokemon to a younger generation than it's ever been introduced to. Like, that's a great way to make sure that they understand, hey, when they level up, they can learn things. When they level up, it's introducing the concept of all these things that we've known for so long into these younger kids' brains. So, like,
I agree.
I don't know.
No,
I feel like some of the hand holding is kind of necessary because of the audience they're looking for, like.
I understand. It's just more long-term gripes. Tyler, would you agree with me that this has not been as handholdy as Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Sun and Moon? Because that shit, they held your hand for so long.
I'd like to say so.
Oh, Tyler, you seem so sad.
Well, if you think about it, in Generation 1 and Generation 2, you had 2 rivals. You had Gary, and then you had, they usually called them Silver, or whoever you want it to be. Yeah, the guy that stole the Pokemon, and, he was a dick to you. And you get a little smug satisfaction when he rarely came up and said, hey, I'm the best. You better get out of my way. And then you defeat him handily. It's like, I don't understand it. Well, how are you so good? Like, it gave a sense of appreciation. But instead, in like these past few games, it's like, hi, your best friend is actually, the relative of a very important person. In this one, they take it to full 10. Hi, you're friends with this kid who's been coddled and loved into thinking he's going to become the Pokemon champion because his big brother is in fact the champion. And since his brother keeps saying, hi, I'm the unbeatable champion, you're my little brother, he's got himself so fucking entitled and starstruck that it's just mind blowing. And then, this champion brother is like,
be surprised if he becomes like a straight up villain.
When Leon looks at you, it's like, hey, you need to be his rival. It's like, okay, but you need to get like 2 miles away from your son, or not your son. Oh God, that would be a new territory. Oh shit. Anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to break into the lore there.
I was just saying Wally had more backbone than Hop.
Yes.
And that's saying something.
Wally is basically your rival who isn't a bad person from the 3rd generation, but he had such character development going from the sickly, meek child to, I am strong. Let's fucking do this. And it's like, all right, let's butt heads together. But this one's like, let's hold hands. Except this shitbag is so entitled, like, I'm going to be the Pokemon champion. Watch out, world. My name is Hop. And he's like, I'll race ya. Just give me 5 minutes to run ahead of you in this cutscene. Haha, I beat you. It's
time.
like,
I'm like, how am I supposed to beat him? Ever.
He's like, if you walk any closer to me, I'm going to battle you and beat you because I'm the champion. It's like, move out of the way, you fucking shit. And it's like, that's what I say in my head every single time.
Yeah.
I will say you do run into a rival that does provide some amount of challenge, but...
Are you talking about
stop you.
That pink-haired motherfucker? Or the purple-haired guy?
Oh, the girl who has the fans.
So you've got Marnie and then you've got Bede.
Okay, I was thinking of Bede, but yeah,
we know about Marnie and Team Yell.
I'm mostly. I just don't want to spoil 8 hours into the game for the people that are listening to the podcast.
It's only 8 hours if you babysit the first area, Glenn. It's like you saying an element.
They announced Team Yell and Marnie a long time ago, so we know that they're gonna be like.
I haven't read anything.
You're fine.
It's okay. Super newbie. Pleb.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
No, he's right.
I'm an OG pleb.
I'm sorry, Glenn. That's our bad. Well, I mean, the big thing that got introduced that we kind of talked about is the Dynamaxing, where you basically go into this alternate world and you fight Super Saiyan essentially for hopefully 3 turns.
I feel like that was kind of just
I've done 2 Dynamax battles out in the wild area. I can't say that. I think I've Dynamaxed maybe 2 out of my 3 gym battles. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not super excited by it. It's whatever. I'll have more to say next week. I think my initial thoughts, out of the three gimmicks that they've introduced over the last few generations, being Mega Evolution, Z moves, and Dynamaxing, Dynamaxing has Z moves has felt the most gimmicky. Dynamax seems whatever. Mega Evolution was the best thing that they ever had to add on and introduce something new to the battle style, because
It felt
actually
like a
made you think.
rebalancing on a proper level, like making
Yeah,
monsters that were weaker than. It's like if you could have 9, which are these super powerful monsters, but if you could take an 8 Pokemon you like and Mega evolve it to a 10, it felt cool. The idea that Blastoise or Charizard started falling out of the mix because they just weren't viable Pokemon, but then you could introduce Mega evolving to make them competitive again was fantastic.
I feel like there was more. Mega Evolution was a more lucrative from a gameplay point of view, both like in like the game PVE and also competitive wise. It just made more sense. Yeah, no, but Dynamaxing so far is cool visually to look at the whole like process of it.
Yeah, the moves, the updated moves when they're Dynamax
And it's kind
is
of
really cool.
silly that you can Dynamax just everybody, and it's just fucking silly to see this.
I love
massive
seeing a
Grookey
Hoot
just
Hoot.
beat the shit out.
Or a
It's
Hoot
just-
Hoot. It's just like, haha, whoo, whoo.
It's just a good time, I think, in general, but overall, long term, I don't think it's anything. It's not. It's whatever.
No, you're right. Like, the Mega Evolution made Scizor relevant again in the competitive scene. Seeing a giant ass Hoot Hoot or a Pidove that looks like Godzilla under the earth motherfucking Pokemon. I mean, that's the true threat there. There is a flock of, 20-story
Giant
high
Pidoves.
Pidoves.
Dynamax Hoot Hoots just squash a whole city.
Just Leon lowering his undefeated sunglasses going, my God.
My God.
No, you wouldn't say that. No, at the moment, anytime I'm convinced that all he knows is,
I'm
"Hi, I'm
undefeated.
Leon. I'm the undefeated champion. Hi, I'm Leon. I'm the undefeated champion."
And I'm bad with directions, always. Just bad with directions, undefeated
What did he
champion.
say? He said right at the start, "Thanks for guiding me here." No, I don't know how I found you. I'm pants with directions.
Yeah.
That's slang I'd never heard before.
I
And one
thought
of them
he
was,
said
like,
I'm
literally
shirt,
he-
so I was like,
One of them was literally like guiding him to Professor's house in his hometown. And you're like, how could you get there's one road,
It's-
man.
There
Like-
always has to be like that main hero always has to have that one glaring like flaw. Like it has to be like, and then
And
here they
yet that first like mysterious thing that happens, he's the one that figures stuff out. I won't say anything because that's actually like plot stuff
Yeah.
that I don't want to ruin. But,
well,
like,
I'm
how
lost, but
was
good
it
thing
used?
Charizard found you.
Oh, I guess yeah, it was Charizard, not him. So
Yeah.
It's so overall, I think there's been a lot of outrage over the internet, and we're not going to dive into any of that. But one of the big things was a lot of people on the online communities in terms of Pokemon being upset very much with people reviewing or like big sites giving them such high scores. And I would like to say because the Pokemon community is looking at what's happening with the games as a whole, looking at it more of a big picture. And a lot of people, myself included to some extent, is not happy with the direction the franchise is going in terms of the games. But the game itself is not bad. It's a fun game. And I think a lot of those reviews are to some extent valid if they're just looking at this game like isolated.
Nick,
Yeah.
there's a question I'm going to ask you generically because I don't
Yeah.
think Glenn has encountered this person yet. He has,
Yeah.
but not enough to bring up this question. There's a guy I keep seeing that screams evil bad guy, kind of like Lysandre style. Is he giving off the same vibes to you too, or am I just...
I know who you're
Oh,
talking
100%.
about.
100%. No,
Okay.
definitely. 100%.
I don't want to get like Roger level paranoid, like, okay, this guy screams like evil bad guy with how things are going.
Second
100%.
time I saw this person, I was like, that's the bad guy.
Also, I would like to say one thing that did pop into my mind recently was the amount of diverse type of representation with the people in Pokemon. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's one thing that people don't take notice
The
of
gym-
properly.
Yeah.
Just in general, like just how people are represented, especially because it's based in the UK and it's not just all white people anymore, and it's just like a wide variety of people. Like it made me, I'm not the most patriotic, but it made me happy.
Except
Yeah.
they were talking to Oak's daughter or granddaughter or daughter,
Oaks?
Professor Oak's or the professor's daughter.
Oh, Magnolia's what's her name? Sonya. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then-
Sonya. They were talking to Sonya. And what's his face? Leon's like, well, what can I say about her? She cooks pretty well. And I was like, what are you gonna
Well-
say now? Go make me a sandwich, you sexist ass! Like, and she's like, no, I really do love cooking. You know, and I was
Well,
like,
all I'm gonna say to that is I immediately understood that as their relationship specifically.
that's fair.
So,
but
but
off.
no, I see what you
Woo!
mean as well.
Well, it was made to suggest that those two were initially the rivals to each other. I believe it was suggested.
They're
at one point.
100. Like one of them wants to bump uglies with each other. I don't know who yet because I haven't seen them interact enough. But one of them wants to, touch them. Do the
Like
the
adult
sinning.
versions
dirty.
of Ash and Misty kind of situation.
Yeah,
here.
like it's just very like like TV shows and like kids games are just very good at like interlacing all of those adult suggestive things without anybody realizing unless you take a good look at it. Like if you go back and look at cartoons now, like Powerpuff Girls had some very overtly suggestive things in the show.
SpongeBob.
Right. Yeah, so it's like like with the way they've built that tension between Leon and Sonya, something happened or
Oh, man,
somebody wants something to happen.
That poor Yamper.
Yeah, but overall, like after 11 hours or so, I'm having fun. I'm having fun building a team again, going through the world, exploring. There's some really cool things. I think the weather changing so drastically is a little bit disorienting sometimes,
Mhm.
but it's cool that that's a thing. Like with how the weather changes, it affects the Pokemon. But there's some things that I want to see happen going forward with the games as a whole, and I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but we'll see. Overall, I'm happy right now.
This is
Oh.
the first.
I'm sorry. There's one thing that I remembered, and I have to mention this. Tyler, do you remember when Meltan was introduced? Do you remember what I said? Nobody probably remembers this, but I'll tell you what I said.
Meltan.
Okay.
I would be very upset if you couldn't find Meltan in the new games.
Can't.
You cannot.
Nope.
Tyler, if I want to complete my Pokédex, I have to fucking play Pokemon Go and transfer Meltan over.
I'll give you mine.
No, I don't want yours. I'm actually upset about this. And thank you, Glenn, for the offer, but I really am
Wait,
upset about
didn't
this.
you get Let's Go Eevee? You get a free Meltan when you have Let's Go.
I didn't get a Meltan.
You all you have to do is prove that you bought it, and you get a Meltan for free.
None of that existed for me. But anyways, beyond that, but no, my point is, these are main core RPG games. These are the main lines. All the Pokemon that exist in the Pokédex should be obtainable solely within these. That's always been the case. And the fact that I have to play a spin-off game to get and complete my Pokédex, and I can't even complete my Pokédex in the game, I have to complete my Pokédex in Pokemon Home,
Yes.
is upsetting. The
Yes,
fact
it
that they
is.
took away the GTS. Tyler, they took away the GTS.
What's
It's no longer in the game.
What is that?
It's the global trading station. So it's basically the thing we talked about, I think 2 or 3 episodes ago. You put up a Pokemon saying, I want this for this, and then it would happen,
Oh yeah.
or you can go and browse. They removed that from the game. That was such a core
Good.
Why?
Can I
Because
still trade with you guys?
hell yeah, you can. Instead of putting a fucking auction board where you want the most inane shit with random people across the world, you might have to do something called making friends.
Well, that didn't exist for me before because none of my friends played Pokemon. I had nobody that played Pokemon.
Not a
So the global
problem
trading
anymore.
station is how I was able to complete my Pokédex.
Mm.
And now I can't do that. And I honestly think a lot of people, if that your main gripe was the fact there was an auction board for random shit, not many people are using it right. Because those people were just there's just the posters, and you have to dig underneath those posts to find the shit that you wanted. And I managed to find a whole lot of shit that I needed to complete, just no problem. It only took at most a day to get the trade complete.
Nick, we live in this day and age where we can build communities. Like, there's fucking Facebook pages for every city in the continent for Pokemon Go. If you need a Pokemon, there's going to be ways for you to get it.
Mhm.
Oh no, I'm sure. I'm the point is that they're taking away so many things that have been so good. It's like we're regressing. There've been so many little fun bullshit things that they've introduced over the generations that have just gone. Did you know, Glenn, that in Generation 4 games, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, you could put stickers on your Pokeballs so that there'd be special effects every time you threw a Pokeball?
No, why would he know that? That's rhetorical.
Was a, thank
Sorry.
you
I
for
mean,
mentioning that was rhetorical.
Nick, I might change my answer with this. GTS technically offers, or at least it kind of did at one point, offered online random battling. Did they take that away too?
No, that's like link battling still exists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ain't no lie. Bye, bye, bye.
So everything that you've seen in the YCOM that you've already accessed during that one wonder trade, that's all you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never
you guys
used the
seem divisive
GTS,
about
and I'm
this,
sorry
like-
for that.
Like, you
Oh, no, we
very
have-
much valued the GTS, and you definitely don't at all.
It's because anytime during the time, let's say during Pearl and Diamond, I believe is when it got introduced. Was it Pearl and Diamond, Nick?
I want to say yes.
Well, let's say hypothetically it is for now. There are certain Pokemon that you can only get by trading. Think of the days of Gen 1 with Haunter, the Gengar, Machoke, Machamp, and all that. If you didn't have a friend to trade those with you, like Nick, and actually
Couldn't
in
get
my
'em.
I couldn't get them. But the GTS changed that.
Oh,
The problem with that is, back when I was trying to get those kind of Pokemon, the people on the GTS were assholes. As I talked about with Nick before, it's like, I look, it's like, okay, I want a Haunter. It doesn't even matter what level it is or anything like that. That way, when I get it, it turns into a Gengar. It's like, okay, I want a level 100 Giratina or some shit like that. You know, I want a shiny ass book. Like, they want the most stupid. Like, it was a bounty board where you had to work
they
your
want
ass
shit that you
off.
can't even trade because you can't trade event Pokemon. A lot of them are like, we want event Pokemon. You can't do that. So
We want your
I
starter.
never
It's
asked.
like,
Sorry, I never looked. I only asked. So I'd put up a Pokemon that I knew had high value, and I'd ask for something. Like I'd put up Charmanders and ask for fucking. I put up a Charmander once. For a Sylveon, and it happened. So I just posted. I never looked. I never browsed because the moment I realized that people are asking for stupid shit, like this is never going to happen. There's probably somebody who's seriously looking for shit. I'm going to try my luck, and it just worked out for me like that all the time. Mind you, I probably used the GTS to complete out of the 800, 100-ish Pokemon. Everything else I bred myself.
that's fair. It just felt like after my experience with GTS feeling like Pokemon 4chan at that point, I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. And after that, I just kind of looked away and I never looked back.
Right.
But so I shouldn't be like making fun of it being gone, but rather just saying it doesn't affect me at all. But I
mean, there
understand
are
if it affects
like
you.
people are right. There are better. There are better alternatives right now. But then the issue is always there's always going to be something that you want that none of your friends will probably get.
well
that
then,
you could probably
is
get
it
from somewhere
possible
else.
that within the context of Pokemon Home, they could bring a feature that gives you some
They won't
semblance
do
of that?
It's just gonna be like Pokemon.
It's just
Bank
your
right now.
Pokemon storage. Okay.
Yeah, that's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be linking all apps. But I'm still seriously pissed off that I cannot get Meltan or whatever.
You can. I'm telling you, you have Let's Go. Dylan, he had Melton the day he bought it.
How do I do that? Do I have to get a mystery gift?
I
Because
don't know. I don't know exactly what it means. Do you have a Pokemon Go account?
do I have to connect a Pokemon Go account?
Do you
Yes.
have
Get the
Pokemon
Meltan?
Go? Yeah, I think
Oh,
that's
I'm
what
not
it
doing
is.
that. Fuck that.
What?
I don't
So
even have
it-
Pokemon Go anymore.
He's
That's all
blaming
you
the
have to
game,
do.
but it's his pride at stake at this point because
That's all you have
It's
to
such
do to
a
do it.
it's such a convoluted way of obtaining a Pokemon. Why? It's
Because, well, I mean, I don't know the logic or reasoning behind it. I don't have as many years invested into this, but I'm going to try and give you some outsider perspective. That's all this is, Nick. I understand you're frustrated, and I don't want to disrespect because you're frustrated.
running.
No, it's
Not
not. It's not
unmerited.
you. No, it's
Okay,
not you.
good.
Don't worry.
No, but I just want to let you know, but like if the only thing keeping you from doing it is that you don't like Pokemon Go because of the non-exclusivity of a Pokemon that you can't receive, it feels like it's just your pride standing in the way of a complete Pokedex. That's
Oh,
all.
100%. It's
For sure.
100%.
Okay.
It's my pride. Oh,
Okay.
Guaranteed.
Because I would trade you. I mean, I'll let you connect to my Pokemon Go account and you can take them out. Like, I don't care. I want you to have a complete Pokedex.
No, I will probably have to do that to get my Meltan because I have no other way. I'm not playing. Do you have to have Meltan in Pokemon Go to get Pokemon Let's Go? Like the Meltan in Let's Go?
No. No.
And so just connecting it gives you The
Uh,
Meltan?
Yeah, you connect your. I think you somehow verify that you purchased it.
Tyler would know. Tyler's a Pokemon
And
Go.
oh yeah,
expert.
here we go. You've done Let's Go and Pokemon Go, so I haven't done Let's Go. So I just know that he had a Meltan the day he bought Let's Go.
so how it would work, and Nick is correct in saying this is convoluted. The basic way of doing this is you would have to connect your Pokemon Go account to Let's Go, and then you would do a trade, which would initiate you getting a gift or a transfer, if you will.
Okay.
You open that up, it gives you the ability for Meltan to appear for a certain amount of time in Pokemon Go. You catch 300, I believe, 300 Meltans to evolve it in Pokemon Go, and then you transfer it over to Let's Go. Yeah.
No, because he had his day one. It took no time at all, and he had a Meltan. I had to do it the hard way. I did the mystery quest where you have to do all the crap, and you have to like find an Aerodactyl, which is one of the rarest Pokemon in Pokemon
I mean,
Go.
this could be very simple by Googling how do you get Melmetal, which is the evolved form.
I can't. Yeah. Oh no, my phone isn't dead. I was like, I don't want to clickety clack and ruin the audio. I don't want to do it right now. Either way. Frustrated about the GTS not being there. Frustrated about the
the GTS is
non-exclusivity.
whatever. The GTS is just like it was fueled by the fact that it's so convoluted to get Meltan regardless of whether you just have to connect and then get it into Let's Go, and then from Let's Go connect it to Pokemon Home, which is not yet available, and then from Let's Go from Pokemon Home, I'd have to keep it there because the Pokédex is not complete, so I can't do anything except keep my Pokemon in a cloud server, which I'm not gonna do. Because I had the scare, and Tyler knows this. I thought Pokemon Bank is the current application that is a cloud service where you store your Pokemon. I thought I left my Pokemon in Pokemon Bank, and it's a yearly subscription. And if you forget to renew it, there is a chance that the Pokemon in your bank will get deleted. Fortunately, it was all on my cartridge for Ultra Moon, and it's on my 3DS, and it's all safe. But I'm not trusting any cloud service with keeping all of my 808 Pokemon currently in one place. So I will never be able to have the joy of having all of my Pokemon in one game ever again.
Until Meltan is released in a game.
No. What I mean is just in general, I will not be able to have all of my Pokemon in one game ever again currently. Because you cannot get all of your Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield. There's a limit on 400 something Pokemon. That was the whole Dexit thing.
Okay.
So Glenn, I posted it in the chat here. If there is a different way, this was from a document that came out last month, less than a month ago, actually, where it is, in fact, you get a special box, which is what you get on Pokemon Go if you do a transfer over to Let's Go. And that gives you the timer to catch Meltan or cause it to appear in the area. And it would take 400 Meltan candy to make Melmetal. So
to get Melmetal, yeah. No. Yeah, for sure. To get Metal, yes, but not to get Meltan. That's all. Yeah.
Problem is, though, if you transfer over Meltan, no matter how much you level it up, it won't evolve. The only way you can evolve it is in strictly Pokemon Go. Which...
That's dumb.
You know,
no, I agree. Like... I think the whole part, like Pokemon Go itself, like I was super excited about it, and then it was just like, oh, you don't have to catch one Pokemon and find out that it has the moves that you like or whatever, and then like love it and care for it and evolve it. It was catch 1 billion until you catch a perfect one and send those other ones away for candy to level the other ones up. Like it felt just...
It was a hardcore version of getting a Gyarados, essentially.
Oh my god, getting Gyarados. Or that one, what's it called? It's like a bird. I don't remember. It looks like a peacock, kind of. Like a flying peacock. I got a shiny one of the pre-evolution, and it had 400 to get to that. Or Whale
Altaria.
Lord.
I think it's
my
Altaria.
Whale Lord took so much candy to get it. I've walked so many kilometers because I don't know how many miles I've walked.
Regardless, this is one of the things that I realized early on, and I absolutely hate it. And I claimed I was going to hate it because I don't think, and like Glenn, you are right. Very much, even Tyler was right. Is my own personal pride. I don't think a spin-off game should have any impact on the main like line games. I truly I don't think that's never happened. That should never happen, because it's a whole thing.
I mean,
I
you
don't wanna
don't
go
you
into it.
don't create a dynasty that's gone on for 20 some years and then just go, "Oh, we're changing things now. All of you people who have stuck with us from the very beginning are going to have to get used to the fact that all the work you've done means nothing." I understand how that feels like a bit of a betrayal. Like I get it. I don't feel that way because I didn't get screwed like that because I just played Gen 1 and now I'm playing what is this, Gen
Right.
8? Gen 7?
If Gen 8, this is Gen
Gen
8.
8. Yeah.
Yeah.
From 1 to 8 I played an emulator of Emerald, but I didn't even finish it. So like
If the regional Pokédex remains to stay out of the games, I don't see myself playing Pokemon long term.
really? Well, I mean,
Yes.
if enough fans freak out about this, just bringing the national Pokédex back, I don't understand how that would break the game.
We're not the ones making the money, so we have no decision over anything.
Well, yeah,
We're
but
the
if
ones
you
spending the
if
money.
you all go, hey, we're gonna stop playing because you've like invalidated my last 12 years of work playing this game that I've been.
I would like to think that would happen, but how many times have we seen corporations look at how fans have freaked out but still continue to remain on their bullshit just because they're still making money? That's the
Blizzard,
reason bad sequels still
Blizzard,
continue.
Sonic.
Blizzard is still
Sonic.
well,
Blizzard,
okay.
Sonic.
The
They
only thing
all
with
heard
Sonic
the
I'm gonna
outcries
say
and went,
no.
okay.
With Sonic, all I'm gonna say is they said they needed more time, and within a few months they presented the new design. They had him all along. It was a PR stunt.
That
I
really,
honestly
really,
think it was a
really,
PR stunt.
really
But
invalidates the hard work of
this
a
is
lot of graphic
this
designers.
is tinfoil stuff.
Okay,
No,
good.
no, this is but I really think they're like, how can we make sure that this movie sells out? We're gonna make a bad design on purpose, but keep the good design under wraps. Release
No
the
press
bad
is bad
design.
press.
Yeah, release the bad design, get people to freak out, and showcase the new design after a little while.
I don't know. I've just seen enough things on Twitter from animators and stuff that worked on it that
With the right amount of money, anybody would say anything. But again, very clearly
we'll never know.
tinfoil stuff.
Yeah,
This
we'll never know for
tinfoil hat
sure.
stuff. I'm being very speculative over here.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's all I have to say about Pokemon for this week. I don't want to keep going, otherwise my blood pressure is gonna rise.
We've added an additional hour scrapping out over Pokemon alone. I think it's good to call it for now. That way, we got it off our chest for this week. I'm sure we'll have another dump truck of information coming to you next week as we figure out what's going on over here. Because I mean, I still have more to say, but
I've only had 1 day of play right now.
1 day of play, and we got this so far. Games that are coming out this week. Glenn, are you able to take this?
I would love to. Game releases. Looks like we had a game called Football Manager, which I assume is actually about soccer because the word football makes sense. Am I correct in this?
Yes,
Great.
you are correct.
Coming.
This is a like it's kind of like text based. You're not actually playing the game; it's more simulation. So you just get everything set up, and then you just manage things that way based on numbers, data, and picking players and stuff. Yeah,
it's amazing to see that sports games have come to that, where there's the side of people that are so interested in the analytics and the recruiting and just the strategy behind creating a team that they don't really want to play as a player. They want to see how. Anyway, yeah, Football Manager 2020. It's coming out on November 19th for PC. Shenmue 3, which I know nothing about. Do you guys know anything about this game, Shenmue 3, coming out on November 19th for PS4 and PC?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Shenmue is a game that I believe became super popular, but it got drastically limited because it came out, I believe, on the Dreamcast, Shenmue 2 specifically.
Oh. Okay.
And the genre got filled by the Yakuza series, as I'm sure you guys heard about that a little bit more. But people are clamoring for this game to come back. I believe there was a Kickstarter for it to get it going, and eventually they managed to get this pushed forward. So cool. It's finally making its fruition. A lot of people are talking poorly of it, but that's just because the first game, it felt limited. The argument is like, all you do is run around with a forklift, but people said that about Death Stranding. So take the complainers and their broad views, with so much criticism that we can write a whole fucking episode over that. So yeah, if you're a fan of Yakuza, this is something you want to look into. Maybe not buy immediately without thinking about it, but this, if you like Yakuza or if you played Shenmue 2, congratulations, your third game is finally coming out. Kind of like us Kingdom Hearts people getting Kingdom Hearts 3 finally. It's like, oh, thank God.
Awesome.
Anyways.
And then Yeah, then the next game on the list is one coming out on November 22nd for PS4 and Xbox One. Looks like they're finally getting Civ 6, Civilization 6 over to console, which I'm sure people have been clamoring for. I know that it's just the Civilization series is so well known and loved, so that's really cool to see. Did either of
One
you
of
guys play
those
Civ at
two.
all?
I was a big fan of Civ 5.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I played a little bit of Civ 4 or 5. I can't remember. Didn't get too much into it.
It just felt like a role play server in WoW. It felt like a role play RTS, and if I wanted to play an RTS, I just wanted to play an RTS.
Right.
You know, that's why I didn't get into it. But you know,
Yeah, I mean, I fell in love with I believe I can't pronounce the name, so get ready to correct me. Budisha. Leader of the Celtics or Celtics. Okay, cool. I liked her design.
I was like Budokai, like Bushido.
Oh jeez. So I was a big fan of the I can't tell if it's Celtic or Celtic Warriors.
The leader of the Celts.
Yes, sure. And problem is though, they have their own nation, and I've tried, supporting her and all that stuff, but then she immediately keep declaring war on me. I'm like, come on, baby, we don't need. I'm not even doing anything bad to you. I think you're the badass, warrior lady. Let's just do this. Be friends. Take my city. I'm like, okay. But yeah, my experience. Plus the idea that you can play 8 to 10 hour games.
Oh my gosh.
It's so great, man. If you got the time and you can commit to a full night of just, working and building up and launching nukes at people. I'm sorry. Yeah. What's next on the list?
The last but definitely not least is Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts. It's coming out on November 22nd on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And I actually looked this one up while you were telling us about Civ. It looks like it's the 4th entry in the Sniper Ghost Warrior series, announced in 2018. And it looks like apparently it's not super different from the 3rd installment, aside from the fact that it's like a limited open world thing. So it's like open levels instead of an open world. But you are you're a seeker, a paid contractor paid to assassinate targets in Siberia, Russia in this one. So nice. For those who like that sort of style of games, that seems like a really fun one. Like Ghost Recon stuff. That's really cool. I still have the GameCube metal. That was the most recent Nintendo console I had. Was the GameCube. I still have my Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon in the metal package. It's the collector's edition. Nice. I never played it, but I still have it.
Boudica.
It is a Boudica. Okay, cool. But yeah, that's all. It's okay. That's all that's coming out this week in gaming. And now we have to celebrate some birthdays, I think.
Yes. Nick, I know you had a small list. I added a few of them because a lot of them were actually kind of important.
Yeah, I took out a few that weren't so like whatever. So starting from the top, Pokemon Sun and Moon, November 18th. This is the day in gaming, November 18th. Pokemon Sun and Moon released worldwide in 2016. So that's 3 years ago now.
Yeah, happy 3rd birthday, the Sun and Moon.
And then next, there's only one thing in 2014. No, I wouldn't do that to you then.
Don't do this to me,
Dragon Age.
Nick.
Sorry, there is only one thing in 2014 because the second one is non-existent.
It's not a game.
The joke is that this particular thing is like it doesn't exist because it's so bad. So Dragon Age Inquisition came out for the Xbox One, PS4, Xbox 360, PS3, 2014. Was this BioWare, correct?
Love BioWare. 300 hours into that game.
Nice.
I love that game.
And also in 2014, we're celebrating the 5th birthday of the Nintendo Wii U, which is a console that performs so poorly, I consciously choose to not think about it ever.
I'm kind of upset because I didn't know it existed, despite being a Nintendo fan, until 2011 or 2012, when Nick in the chat actually lent me his Wii U while he went overseas.
Are you saying 2011, 2012 when the Wii U came out in 2014?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
You're just
was my
thinking about the Wii.
Okay, so you're right. The Wii U did come out in 2014. So there was a point sometime after that I had no idea it existed prior to the, you're the joke. And then one day Nick showed up when he went overseas, and then he lent it to me, and I eventually just bought it from him.
I am being told now by an insider source that I am wrong as to the release date of the Nintendo Wii U.
No, he got deployed at that date, not when it came out.
No, the Nintendo Wii U came out in 2012, the same day, but it's 2012, not 2014.
Oh. So we were just 2 years off. So it's the 7th birthday. Yay!
Nick is not wrong. Nick in the chat, it was me that added the information. He was just parroting it, so that's my bad.
So yeah, that's 7 years. Happy birthday. Then we've got Left 4 Dead, which is a big game for a lot of people. Not for me. I never touched it. But Xbox 360 2008. So happy. I'm doing math every time. 11. Birthday.
Yes.
LR11. Then in the same year, 2004, one on the Game Boy Cube, one on the Game Boy Advance. In this order: Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion. Games I've not touched. Tyler, have you touched these games?
Yes, I played and beat Metroid Prime. I didn't get a chance to play Metroid Fusion.
Cool. And then we got the first Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, damn.
GameCube in 2001.
Nick hasn't played a Metroid game, so you can't give it that appreciation.
No, I cannot. Never touched Metroid game yet.
I think a Metroid Prime game would probably be your favorite genre next to Zelda if you ever got your hands on it. But that's just an opinion.
So Luigi's Mansion came out for the GameCube in 2001. So that is 18 years now. Happy birthday. That being said, the GameCube also came out in 2001.
Wow. So it's an adult now.
Yeah. It's
GameCube can go vote.
It can be legally tried as an adult for a misdemeanor.
And then I listed this just because I think it's cool. Tetris, 1988. This was not the initial release of Tetris. This was part of the initial wave of releases, and this came out in Japan for the PC-98. I think that's what it was called. Yes, the PC-98 in Japan. Tetris originally came out in 84 or 83 and was by a Russian scientist, actually. It was developed. And it is it's the best-selling video game worldwide of all time.
Wow. I think second place to that right now is Minecraft. I'm not sure if it got ever surpassed.
But that is it for this day in gaming for November 18th. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I think that's gonna be it. Let's wrap up.
That was a good show.
I agree.
Needy.
There's a lot of talk, a lot of editing, but a good amount of talk. You can find me on Twitter at 2timestyler, but more importantly, where can I find you, Nick?
You can find me on Twitter at LR11th or on Twitch and Instagram at LR11. And then Glenn, where could we find you?
I'm on Twitch at Raezeth, Raezeth, as well as our sister podcast, Ready to Roll, which is a lovely D&D podcast that I hope to be a part of. And then also on Twitter at Glenn Houston Looks Like Huston.
Good deal. And you can find us on the Twitter at MasterQuestPod, or you can email us casualmasterquest@gmail.com, or you can check us out on our Instagram and Facebook, which is also Casual Master Quest. Also, there's a Discord. Check us out on Twitter and grab that if you like it. Also, there's a fucking D&D podcast called Casual Quest Masters, where all three of us, plus Brandon, gets to be a part of a D&D campaign in the world of Faerun, where we are about to deal with family relations.
Learning a lot about yourselves.
Hell yeah, we are. Caw, motherfucker. I think that was going to be it. That was Glenn. That was Nick. This is Tyler. And that was Casual Master Quest. We'll see you next week. And don't forget to never stop the grind. Till next time, guys.
Bye-bye.